Okay, dude, this was so loud in my own ears. I can hear myself too clearly. I don't like it. Let's get a zoom in of you. You're different. Cute little ball of anger and rage. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stream. Oh, good old stretch my goddamn chest. Oh. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, on the to-do list today is to try to get rings. Now, I've yet to jump into Tiny Tina's Wonderland to like get back into it and make it goddamn build or anything really. Instead, I'm editing 2 Goliath videos, which are just obscenely huge. Also, we match color-wise. But yes. I wanted to say something. Oh, how is the beta? How is the beta, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah, unfortunately, we were not able to play the Deathverse beta. Reason why is because for some reason, don't know what reason, they decided to have it in the early mornings, despite there is a difference between like North American servers and things like that. So yeah, just weird. Also like lunacy, but you know, yeah. Crazy people. But yes. But I was gonna say, how was it? Was it good? Was it just as good? Did they tweak some stuff that we didn't see before? What's happening? Lone Syndicate says, I didn't play it. Why, Lone Syndicate? Why was it? Why didn't you play it? I thought you were saying you were gonna try to make it happen. You were gonna maybe jump in a little bit. Or I'm thinking of Beastie. But man, people out here who are playing it, that's impressive. It was, for those guys who don't know, it was uploaded at 2 a.m. for me. In America, it wouldn't be too different from you. It'd be like maybe 1 hour forward or back. But yeah, basically 2 a.m. to like 8 a.m. So early ass midnight or morning, whatever you want, is too much. So we didn't get to play again, but we already had a lot of time to play, frankly. And I know I liked what I played, so I'm quite content whenever it comes out that we'll get after it. But yes, we were just gonna patiently wait. Yeah, right now we're basically our only objective, which we're just kind of breezing by, is of course Tiny's Wonderland, trying to get ability rings. But if anyone else jumps in and says, hey, can you drop me a save file or something, I'll do it. All that stuff. But for the time being, we're just hanging out. Also, my controller will disconnect almost all the time. Great. Awesome. Ugh. Anyways. But yes, also, is this the right... We still don't have a good mod on this. Yeah. In fact, we could do that. Reroll this until we get a good mod. Maybe. No, that's volatile. No. Well, whatever. Let's just keep going. We can kill everything anyway. Kill everything anyway. Oh, also, the reason why I didn't make a Tiny Tina's Wonderland hotfix video this week, is because it wasn't anything special. It was literally just like the feature runs changed. No things got rebalanced. It was a couple bug fixes, but that was it. But no, like, here we're looking at pistols or something like that. Nothing like that happened. So when there is a change, and I think I said this at some point when I was covering the first hotfix, where look, whenever there is notable content, I will talk to you about it. But until then, we're just hanging out, you know? This... Once again, it says, I was up to play it. I just didn't play video games that early in the morning that often. And normally, I normally do all of the productive stuff in the morning and then game in the evening and night. Interesting. Yeah, I might be the same way, Lone Syndicate. I don't know. If I think, a part of me thinks that might be true for me too. But I don't know. Part of me is also like, when it's morning, sometimes you're groggy and you're like, bleh. I feel like if anything, I like to enjoy my mornings. Like mornings are when I want to, like, it's weird. For me, it's like early morning or very late at night. That's where I have my like me time. You know what I mean? And then the middle of the day is where you kick some ass. I will say around like 6 though is when I start to that's where I start to exercise and shit, and that's just always been for like the last like 5 or 8 years probably, actually. Holy shit, it's been such a long time that I've been exercising consistently almost every day. So that's the like baseline, you know. But yes. I don't know what they were thinking. I think it's crazy that they were like, yeah, let's wait. So let's like upload the beta at that point. Now, granted, again, if there wasn't like multiple different servers for time zones and such, I get it. Just to give the people who maybe are on a weird neck of the woods on the other side of the pond a chance to play. But otherwise, what? Why? What is good, Beastie? Did you play the fabled death verse? Or was it just nobody? Because, yeah. Also, man, my controller sucks so much. I'm tapping the fucking the trigger on my thigh, and it's just like poof, fully firing. Lunacy. BC says, could it be I am truly fur? No, you see Low Syndicate? Low Syndicate's up in here. Up in here. What's good, Hans? How was your week, Hans? How are you? What is good, Viper? Viper says, third. How do you know? How do you know there's not a person here who is playing in like incognito mode or something, who technically won't show up and like watching, who has been lurking this whole time? I don't know, that kind of gives me some like, some like creepy, yeah, well actually not, it depends. Is that determined to be a lurker? Because I feel like a lurker is like present, like you feel someone watching you. And if you were to be like, hey, they'd be like, sorry, or something. You'd hear it, you'd hear some sort of thing that gives it away. But then there's the creeper vibe, who when you say, hey, there's no sound comes back. And you hear like a bush rattle, and you're like, this is a horrible analogy for like, for culture and Twitch and all these things. But yes. Once again says, plus, me being competitive that early in the morning, I just can't get, my brain is still trying to reach 100%. My reaction time is, no, that's a good point. I didn't consider that Lone Syndicate. Yeah, I didn't consider the fact that it is actually like a competitive game, and that's super weird to do or that early on. That's fair. When you're waking up in the morning, you want to do that like comfy stuff. You just want like Genshin dailies, you know what I mean? Or it's like and then it's like it's almost impossible to lose, That's what you want. I feel that too. Good point. BC says, nope, I tried, but I was too weak. I passed out like 10 minutes before the start of, yeah, man. I can't, if someone's out here like going that hard in the paint, I'm like, stop it. Just, what's happening? Why are you discommitted to waking up this early to play a game that might come out? Also, it's like, again, I think a lot of our like general consensus of Deathverse was pretty fun. You kind of rev up too fast when you hit people, and it kind of makes you feel like if you don't hit people, you kind of shit the bed. But what do you call it? It's like a game that I could play for maybe like an hour, maybe 2 hours, and then I'd probably like walk away a little bit, and then like maybe come back at some point in the day. But it's not something you're gonna grind like fucking 8. At least I don't think. I didn't really get that sense from most of you guys, including myself. The feeling of like wanting to like go hard in the paint. Like if it wasn't strictly only up for a couple hours, I think I would have loved to walk away for a little bit. Like if we had 24 hours to play, I would have like okay, I'll do a little bit in the morning and then I'll come back at night and kick some ass again. I'll get more footage. And I'm a person who has like a genuine incentive to play the game because a lot of people want to see the game gameplay of it from me. Let's go with not roguelike, nullify. Hound says, the week was very good. Today has been not good. Oh no, a very thing we had planned fell to pieces. Hopefully it turns around. Yeah, hopefully, Hans. Oh no, that's not good to hear, buddy. Hopefully whatever it was, you find something that equally is fun to be done in the meantime. Oh, so that's 7? That was 7? That didn't cost anything to make it a bonus, like a difficulty. Neat. Lone Singlet says, I shall mostly always be first. You gotta have the tab already open and hit the refresh button as soon as 7 p.m. hits to beat me. I'm the one, Lone Syndicate is there used to be like a thing. We used to be relevant enough to where it's back in our Let It Die days where we had people who were like in it, simply put. And also I think it's because like I used to only stream on the weekends, so like it was more of a unique experience. Whereas now we stream so often that people are like, I'll catch him at some point. And I'm like, yeah, it's true. I was like, but there used to be people in our streams that used to call themselves the early squad, who were literally showing up an hour early. Like it was incredibly overwhelming in terms of like a positive thing to see, like someone who was so into the content that we were making at the time. But at the same time, it was also like, I'm never like late. I'm usually like, if I am, it's like a minute late or something, or like if it is, it's half an hour late. Now there's a reason, because my world turned upside down that day or something. But yes, it is one of those things that Lone Syndicate has a linchpin in at this point. I'm curious to see how long he can last, because that squad lasted for 2 years straight until they were like, life is killing my whole shit. So I need to dedicate some time to that, Grinn. And I was like, I get it. Take care of you, baby. Beastie says sad. It's okay, Beastie. Also, I just appreciate anybody giving me a single second of your day. That's what was so like overwhelming about it. It's just the idea of like, again, guys, I am fully prepared, like emotionally, mentally. I'm sitting here every day just pop, drilling it into my head of like, there'll be a day when we have like something happens. Well, like especially now, where like I am really like, again, today, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not uploading anything to YouTube. This is unfortunately the content that you get right now. Because the videos I have to edit are both like 2 hours long, and honestly, they're not even like videos that I think would do well. There's videos that I think I want to create and archive, essentially. One of them is a book. Whenever I do a book review, I like to talk about it so that I can kind of get my calcify the information in my head, and if I can explain it well enough, and do that, then I find I'm good. Like I find I made a dent in that idea, and then it's like resonates in my head a little bit better because I was able to explain it, if that makes any sense. But the other video is a big ass video about, like, it's like a podcast essentially, about Ranker of Kings, and then I still have to make 2 other videos about Ranker of Kings. One of them is just should you watch it, and then the other one is like a genuine, I'm gonna try my hand at making like an anime essay kind of type thing. I'm probably not gonna do it as good because I just don't have the time. But anyways, my point is that like right now, I'm expecting there to be a huge dip into my like YouTube stuff, and it's funny because if anything, we're growing more than ever because I've been slightly implementing the things I've been learning over the last couple months, but I'm still like, I need to dedicate time to finish learning all of these other things. So I'm fully prepared for like me to start a stream. This is what I was referring to, like what I was drilling into my head, is I'm fully prepared to like start the stream and the chat just to be dead. Like it was funny, yesterday that happened actually, where no one was popping in the chat for a hot minute, and I was just sitting there riffing. And I was like, this is what I prepared, baby. And then Lone Syndicate was like, what's up? And I was like, what's good, man? So yeah, man, but that's my little peek behind the curtain of my mind. But I'm, again, incredibly humbled every single time especially now, again, I can't stress enough how it is quite surprising that me just doing a little bit, but at least I'm aiming at the right things now, have seeded more of a yield than the last like 3 years of us covering Genshin and all these other games, you know? So it's kind of wild in that regard too. Also a little like, holy shit, it's super valuable to make sure you're aiming at the right thing, if that makes any sense. But yeah. Axiom, what's good? Axiom says, my brain is fried right now. I just watched 21 Angel Eggs, Fantastic Planet, Akira, Ghost in a Shell, and the series Experiment land back to back in the past week. I was about to say, man, that seems like, are you enjoying it at that point, or are you just kind of like grinding? Because it sounds like you're grinding. Oh, also, actually, I'm sorry, I don't have time right now. Like again, there'll be a future point in the future where I should be able to watch those essays you sent me, but I haven't had any time to do that. Again, it's been like marathon through this book and like try to make some content that is relative into what I'm learning about right now, and then spit it out just so that I can further research what I'm currently researching right now or like learning about. Which I feel like I'm overhyping the shit I'm learning. It's really like my best guess at what could be valuable. Like the video that's coming out about the book I'm reading is going to be very like, why did you choose this to read? And it's hard to describe, but it's just something that everybody who is in like the entertainment creation kind of sphere has said to read. And I understand why. I don't know if it makes sense for why, yeah, I'm not sure if it makes sense why I want that information or what those people are telling me, etc., to intake, but it makes, oh god, ooh, come on, Pixies, kill something, You got it, pixies. Kill it. There we go. Well done. Run. BC says, the second you screw up, I'll be here, Syndicate, to claim the #1 spot. He's watching you like a hawk. like, listen, man, it's all friendly here, but there'll be a day. There'll be a day when you fucking misstep, okay? And that'll be the day that I push you off a cliff, all right? Hard as shit. Ha! Stay on your toes and all these things. And I'm just like, I'll catch you, I guess. My head hurt? Yeah, actually, man, I'm not sure, man. That sounds too much. I'm like, too much to watch. Like, I'm in that place right now where like a part of me wants to start the God of High School, but I'm also like, I'm in like, you know when you're in like a viewing mood, you know what I mean? Like sometimes I get into like a viewing mood of like, I just like to see craft channels. Like I just like to see channels of like people make blades and like knives. And I'm like, that's nice. And then I go into like the gaming thing where I'm like, oh, I just want to see people play games for a long time. And then I go into like the video essay thing. Sure, I get down that little road. Right now for anime, I'm in that for anime, and I'm kind of like, I'm not sure if I want to watch anything that's too high stakes. Like, and it's funny because Ranker of Kings is in like, I'm not sure if you finished it, Beastie, but I'm not spoiling anything. But it does like get pretty heavy at a lot of points. Like it's not, it looks like a children's show. It absolutely is not. It has this kind of drawing style to it, but it is very jovial and happy. But it gets really depressing and dark as shit at a lot of moments. So yes. Step back. Let's go. There's a lot of curses this time. Why is it so cheap to buy curses? Did they do that in the patch, or did I miss that? It says, Beastie, you challenging me? Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Let's see how this plays out. We're gonna see what happens. Oh, you guys are a riot. Axiom says, for unrelated reasons, though, I do enjoy watching things that are very confusing. I feel like I enjoy watching things that are not so confusing and then making them confusing. Like looking into the deeper meaning of something that is maybe even simple and why it is intriguing. That to me is quite fun. Like me watching a show about like goofy fun guy who's a businessman but also a dickhead, like control a whole populace, and then actually deduce what the deeper meaning of the show is, which is maybe like capitalism weirdness and things. Which just sounds like the worst person to be around, frankly. But that's, I hold back a lot of times when I'm with you guys, etc. Unless they were in that video specifically. Even in those videos, I try to like, how can I word this in such a way that it's not the worst to listen to? Lone Syndicate says, wait, what is that? B says, you have been challenged. and then Lone Syndicate says, cracks knuckles. Okay. Both y'all are out here, essentially, and you just popping in for a single second is all I'll ever demand of you, or want of you, or even, I don't even expect that, honestly. Spectral Vengeance. I don't know if I want that one. Spectral Vengeance is just annoying. You just get dropped for no reason. It feels bad. We don't right now. Yeah, we'll just get buff, I guess. Why not? Oh, BC says, I just finished it yesterday. What was it? Didus is fucking. How did you feel about the end? Actually, when you say finished it yesterday, I kind of wanted to ask you how you feel about the ending with time, a little bit of time in between. Because to me, I don't think I've seen. We're not spoiling the show here. Calm down. We're okay, guys. But I've never seen an ending that does such a good job about like making you feel super content and satisfied with like it concluding. Because it kind of pays off a lot of the things that we're hoping for as we're watching the show, but simultaneously throughout the last 3 arcs, like set up so many like little Easter eggs and like little cues for what's to happen next. Because dude, it's, oh my god. Also, did you ever forgive the swords? Like out of all, they do such a good job, Beastie, in that show, of showing a character and then making you empathize with a character that maybe did something that was kind of cruel, but like you can understand why they did it because they had good intentions, and that can sometimes just get messy. Good intentions can lead to bad actions, etc. But did you ever forgive the guy in blue with a ponytail? Yeah. Did you ever forgive him? Because he was the one that I never could do it. Yeah. And I think there's a reason why that, because I think Boji is also in a place where like he is also not in that place. So I think maybe that's the author's design. I think the author that wrote wrote the show is like, I can't even imagine, because like so many things complete perfectly in that show, to where it's just like, it's the most talented writer I've ever seen. Especially with its ability to like, I'm constantly at a loss when I think about its like complexity and the way it makes you feel, and yet the way that it deals with like some dark ass shit, but yet you don't feel like corroded afterwards, you know? Like something you watch a show and it makes you feel like yucky and gross after the fact, you know? This show still leaves you with hope and love in your heart, which is a crazy testament, and it gets into some dark ass shit. So, yeah. Axiom says, I hate this. Sorry, I hate this goddamn. Axiom says, for example, Angel's Eggs is basically 2001: A Space Odyssey if it was really weird and biblical and anime, and only has 60 words in total. Okay, so it's one of those like visual treats kind of thing. Gotcha. And like emotional things through the visual aspect of it, I assume. It's very much a movie you don't want to watch when high or drunk. Gotcha. A lot of visual trippiness. Understood. Or maybe terror. Lone Syndicate says, but how are you? How was your day, Grinn? Lone Syndicate says. Lone Syndicate, my day has been every Saturday, man. We have like a really fucking unhealthy breakfast, which is just so much syrup, and that's my fault, syrup. But it just makes me gas out like nothing. So then I'm like having a pretty efficient morning, and then I have breakfast, and then I'm just done. And then I try to edit, and my brain's like rejecting it. And I'm at the point where like I want to keep progressing, but I'm really like, and I talking about, because I say this all the time. And I feel like, yeah, like you guys catch me on like when I'm always spent, which is unfortunate. But whenever we stream, it's like the last thing I have to do to the day. So I'm always just like, oh my god, we have so much more to do. Like it's just a fucking nightmare. But anyways, yeah, I need a break. I feel like I'm like, I don't want to do anything. And it makes sense, because for the last 4 days I've done nothing but like review, edit, and then review again. Like I haven't done something outwardly enjoyable besides watch Rancor of Kings. Turns out that was my linchpin. So now that I don't have it, I'm kind of like, I'm freaking out. I'm overwhelmed. I need to have a break. I need to have like, because I have been going full tilt for like 3 weeks without any sort of. I take Sunday today just to watch anime and shut off. But I haven't done that for like consecutive weeks because I've had family demands as well as like needing to wrap things up, etc. Because yeah, whew. Anyways, good. My day's been pretty good. It's been somewhat efficient, but I'm a little bit of a critic when it comes to that. I have a little bit more to do. I have to edit one more. I made two halves of our book review kind of thing, so I need to edit the other half, which is an hour. Both are 2 hours. Yikes! Both are 1 hour, but 2 hours in total. And yeah, it's a lot. But what is happening with you, Lone Syndicate? Please tell me what's going on, because that's far more interesting than my dumb ass. Also, what's good, Cap? Cap says, hey, bro, what's good, Cap? We missed you, buddy. How you been taking care of yourself in the days that we've been apart? Also, Sparks says, what movie was that? You're talking, which one, Sparks? Talking about Axiom's movie? Because it's called Angel Eggs, is what his anime movie that's similar to Space Odyssey is. If you're talking about the one that I think is like the one that me and BC are talking about like one of the best written shows, like I keep saying, it's a masterpiece, and I've never ever said that about any show ever. It's called Rancor of Kings, is what it's called. But it's not like a zero to hero. Well, actually, it is. Actually, it's something I can't even put into words. The complexity, but yet it's simplified, and it's just a good time. I feel like the only thing. I feel like maybe it was so good because of the like way I watched it. I was expecting it to be like a show that was emotionally driven, but it turned out to just be a show that did like everything incredibly well, and maybe I wasn't expecting that, so therefore I'm looking back on it with like rose tinted glasses. But then I asked Beastie about it. I asked Beastie to watch it as well, and Beastie said he's on the same boat. I think Beastie's on the same boat as me, maybe a little bit less. I don't know. Beastie will have to chime in if he's here still, if it is that good. But yes, I've been good. Yeah, good. That's good to hear, Cap. Axiom says 2 halves. What's that? What 2 halves of what? What did I say? Oh, you mean of the book review? Yeah. The book review. It's yeah. I made like in order to cover the chapters and do it justice, I kind of ran through it. Like yeah. I wish I would have probably left some stuff out, but it's a super kind of complicated bit of business. The book that I currently just read. It's one of the things that it's hard to describe without describing the studies and the experiments in which were done to determine the passive psychological effects that these things have, I guess. Also, please die. Thank you. Ooh. Let's heal. So much shit on the ground and all this crap. Like also they're dying to the dot on the ground as well. See back? Here we go. There's some stacks. Oh, something happened. Oh my God, Luca, you madman, you goddamn guy. Damn it, Luca. I was chipping. I was getting close to chipping away at it. The raid back and forth. Luca, how was your stream? It takes wait. Let's give it a sec. It takes a little bit of time for you to pause shit, jump over to the other person. Maybe Luca does it different. Maybe Luca just like holds up the chat and then does it. I'm the idiot who does it as soon as I hit go to stream. I go to the person I rated. But how are Luca and his lovely people? That should be enough time where he's popping. What's good, Luca? What's good, Casper? Oh, you guys been taking care of yourself? Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. What were you guys getting up to? Also, did y'all play Deathverse? That's what I want to know. Yeah, exactly. You guys, how do you guys feel about Deathverse? Do you guys get into the beta? Not today. For whatever reason, they were crazy, and they decided to be madmen and like make it at the fucking earliest possible time. Well, no, with time zones, it's like there's different regions. I said at the beginning stream, there's different regions. Like there's the East server, so you could just make that a reasonable time period. Anyway, did y'all play it the previous week? What do y'all feel? Luca is an absolute madman and let it die. For those guys who do not know, he has Death's coat. He grinds like you would not believe. And of course, Casper is equally that insane when it comes to the proficiency of playing that game and the skill in which he can play it. Nub says, PC Master. What was that referring to? What happened? Lucas says, yeah, I saw you decided to jump ship. What do you mean? What do you mean decided to jump ship? We were DBD today. What's that? Dead by Daylight. Oh, you get into that, man. How do you feel about? Have you played the Evil Dead game, man, Luca? Because that game to me, as much as Dead by Daylight looks like just a blast, and I'm sure there's like a rhythm and like a competitive scene to Dead by Daylight. Also, is there two? No, there's not. There's just one guy. But what do you call it? That's the one game that surprised me, like the idea that you're playing this hunter, and maybe it doesn't it's not even comparable, but I thought it looked really interesting in comparison, frankly, to that game. Just the fact that you can like set traps and it's like hyper aggressive. The Evil Dead game caught my interest, and I'm not even that kind of games like market person. I don't think I'm not trying to, but I don't play those games or drawn to them necessarily. Lucas says the Deathverse was only for PS4 or PS5. I am on PC now. Oh, you completely even. It was on PS4 though. Did you get into Let It Die only when it was on PC, Luca? Okay. Oh, I just jumped off here for no reason. Okay. But okay, that threw me for a loop. Okay, so yeah, I still have my PS4. It's dusty and shit, but I loaded it up, installed those damn hour-long updates. But golly. Okay, again, to me, I was hoping that it would do that. I was hoping that we would have a PC thing though, but I think they're doing it. Like Sony has that weird thing of like the Miles Morales thing is coming out, which is very cool, but it's also like, I don't know, man. It's like, I know it's probably a good game, but it's like there's something that the freshness of a product, And maybe that's just me. Maybe I just like when I actually play a game, you know, and like at like day that it comes out. But yes. Lucas says, I stopped playing Let It Die. Grinn. I know, but you played it in the past and you kicked some crazy ass. Also, what's good, Daruku? What's good? Everyone's popping in. What's good, people? Hope you're taking care of stuff. These are all good people popping in. Luke is like a fucking a flame, and good people are moths. Daruku says needs game modes other than 1v15 deathmatch. Yeah, man. Well, also, what do you call it? Are we talking about Deathverse? Daruku, to me, I loved the mechanic of like trying, like there was like various answers to like to punish hiding, essentially. So you had to play aggressive to gain a benefit. But the fucking attack scaling damage buff to me felt hot, like way too hot. Like if you just got unlucky in finding people, you're fucked. Also, the damn fist weapon shit beat my ass so badly. Okay. Also, Casper says, I didn't get to play, unfortunately. Oh no, shit. I gave away my PS4 a month ago. I see, because I wasn't playing. Yeah, no, that's a good reason, man. No, again, that's the shit that catches you. I have it, but I never played. Okay. Oh, you mean Evil Dead? You haven't played yet, dude. I can't wait to hear what you think about it, because to me, I think it seems like a game that is the right kind of different but similar thing to people who've been playing a lot of Dead by Daylight. That kind of like offset, but just enough weird and interest. Also, the fact that it has a skill tree and stuff feels really interesting, you know, and has like investment proposition, I guess. BC says, and he was the first to step in without hesitation when the big four all had to think for a solid second. Oh, give me a sec, Beast. I'm gonna scroll up and we're gonna catch up on this Ranker of Kings show, because it's worth talking about with you. But yes, give me a sec. BC says, oh no, Lucas says, hell yeah, PC Master Race always. You wanna like tease out anything to a person on PC, you say those words, and even a person who's dedicated to playing a game, pause it, say the thing, and then back off. Go back to grinding. Alright, boys, let's see if we can get a single ring that scales off of ability damage. This is an ever-living hell nightmare that we've been stuck in for a while. But yes, wish me luck. Lucas says, I was on Let It Die on PS4 when it was created. Also, the one on PC did a series of Let It Die on PC when it left. There was a Take Dust. Wait, I was Let It Die on PS4 when I created. Also, the one on PC did a series of Let It Die on PC, then left it there to dusk. I don't understand what do you mean? Is that me? Is it talking about me? Lucas says, oh no, Nub says, as a nefarious faring person, I am patient enough to wait. Yeah, it's true. I guess that's true. Some PC people are like, yeah, no, hey, it'll come. It'll come our way. Let's just chill. I don't really feel that way. I'm always like, but what can I do now to have it now? You know, I'm greedy, maybe. Lucas says, on another note, have you played Elden? I absolutely have, man. I am forced to play it tomorrow. Can't wait, TBH. Though. Yeah, man, I was about to say, why are you forced? Who forced you? Forced, I'm sure. But yes, it's a great game, man. I just, to me, what do you call it? It's kind of the classic thing, right? Like, I'm at a point right now where I'm kind of slicing off, like, enjoyment things we could do just for me, like, reading books that I think are helpful for us creating content and stuff like that, which have been helpful, really helpful. But yes. Then, not now. How did you find it? You mean, how did I find Elden Ring? I loved Elden Ring, but dude, to me, Luca, my thing that I figured out, like, Elden Ring calcified the thing that I get enjoyment out of video games from, especially games like that are kind of made to be difficult. I love the idea of, especially in Elden Ring, they do such a good job about there being ways to kind of like get a stupid advantage. Like that's the thing that I love. Like in a game that is difficult and kind of merciless, how can I break it? How can I find the thing that is overpowered? How can I find the thing that equals the playing field? How can I find the thing that is both fun to use and goddamn nightmarish to deal with? And yeah, that was what we made a series, we streamed a bunch, and we basically made a series that was how to have the most OP mage start you could possibly do. And then I wanted to go back. We might do it eventually when I finish reading these books and shit, and going through these courses and whatnot, where I wanted to do the same thing for faith builds, because you can like just straight up, there's so many ways to like speed run it, essentially, like go get this amulet that unlocks this bridge, whatever, that lets you get to the next end game area, and then you can run past every enemy, pick up a sword that is like stupidly good for whatever your build is. Could be a magic scaling sword, could be a charm that lets you make all your weapons magic scaling swords, so you can just get crazy with it really fast. But what are you planning on doing first, Luca? Are you planning on going the mage? Are you planning on going the classic warrior type? Or are you planning on going with the incantation person, which is basically like different types of spells? But yes. Lucas says, I got requested on the channel. Yeah, man, it's a good request. Solid game. I think you'd love it. Yeah, especially with the... It's satisfying, but also it has this like temperament where if you did want to make things significantly easier, you could. If you wanted to, I think the right amount of challenge, just so you're not boned. If you were, well, I guess you're never boned because you can always respec. But I think the one thing that to me seems like the most the funnest way to kind of play it, if you are not into like the how to weaponize the game against itself and like make it easier by like knowing things and information, kind of like Let It Die, having a surplus of information made it easier. But if you want to have just like a fun classic Dark Souls kind of experience, I think the blood builds seem like they're very, very good, and also they're kind of capped to where you can't get to the mountains, which is like a very end game activity or area, until you beat a lot of bosses that are kind of until you can get a weapon that kind of allows you to sequence and slash a bunch. But yeah. Axiom says, I have a huge backlog of old movies and black and white that I want to get go and watch, but first I want to stay on theme with the movies I've been watching before I can stop stream roll. Yeah, that's a good idea, Manny. Again, there's like something to like the slow trickle of handling things at your own pace. Again, if you're trying to like be too gluttonous, you won't be able to really enjoy or like resonate with those things. So it's good to take things in waves. Ability, no, it's not very good. If it had more ability things within the substats, I'd take it. Gun damage, blah. Melee damage, no. So many damn rings. God damn you, where are you? This one, yes. Ability, on critical hit, the ring effect. That's great. Why don't we put text right in the middle of the fucking other text? Effectiveness is increased with the. Oh, this is a shark. Oh no. Also, was it good substats? No. Shotgun damage and whatnot. No. Companion damage. Gun damage. Is there 2 threads there? I'm blind. I don't think so. We got gun damage. Well, that was a whole ass waste. Shit. Lucas says, how about I'm planning to find out what class there are when I see the menu first for the first time tomorrow. I have no idea what classes there are, but soldier is my last okay, yeah, no, that's not bad. Yeah, play it melee. Yeah, well, again, melee to me seems like again, it's just my brain. Like some people who are like, yeah, like it feels super rewarding because you kind of get your head kicked in because melee is a little rough at times. But my head just goes to like, yeah, but dude, some arcane blood builds can get fucking brutal. Can get mean. Repost says, Lone Syndicate says, I need to finish some anime. I took a bit of a break from watching anime. I need to finish rewatching quintuplets and finish watching The Realist Hero. You need to finish The Realist Hero. I don't know about quintuplets, but yes, Realist Hero. And today I did some drawing and almost finished volume 1 of my manga, Sweat and Soup. Is that, you mean your? Is that connected? Are you making a manga, or is this like you did some drawing and then you read a manga that yeah, or are you just making a manga called Sweat and Soap? What? That's huge. You fucking should have told me that if that was happening. I feel like, yeah, what the hell? But I assume it's that you did some drawing and you're reading a new manga. Nice. BC says, for movies, I'm kind of stumped. What do you mean? Oh, is that what Axiom asked? Maybe I missed that too. God damn it, chat moving fast. my dumb eyes. Spark says, Samurai Duel. The 2 big ass swords. Is that right? They'll carry you the whole. Yeah, I was about to say. That's my favorite part about Elden Ring is that there is like no excuse for you not being able to fucking wreck. You know, it doesn't mean that there's not like bosses that require you to die a little bit and get theirs, especially when you get to the end. There's some bosses that have like the one hit you, you know. So yeah, but even still, just with the buffs and like the side things you can do, it feels super satisfying. Luke says, I'm going melee. Ooh, yeah, but with that being said though, man, this is one of the first times magic seems like it's not just the worst in a Souls game. And not to say that like fire builds weren't really good in Souls games, like the Pyromancer. It's just to say that like it felt like you could do it and it worked, but it wasn't like a very like, there's like 60 spells or something crazy, and each one has like different effects as you hold it down. There's a bunch of different wands that can kind of help you and give you different buffs and shit. And, you know, incantations are fucking mental. Apparently they got buffed recently. Not recently, a while ago, which is good. Right around when I stopped playing, and I was playing a predominantly faith build. But yeah, you can also do weapon build with like tons of weapon arts, which just scale like crazy. Though, dude, some of the weapon arts, Luca, get crazy. Are you planning on just like chilling, Luca? Like you're just gonna grind it, just like as if you'd play a brand new like a game just yourself, or are you gonna feel the pull to like mid-max to be like, I hear about this weapon that fits perfectly into my build that my chat keeps telling me about, and they say it's over there. Are you gonna go over there? Because you should go over there. You should listen to your chat. You sometimes they'll kill you, but other times they'll be benevolent gods that give you an amazing find. I mean, it's the typical Souls-like. Lone Ticket says, no, I am not making a manga. Okay, I was about to say, I was like, this seems like quite the gunning it. Gunning it. At least not yet. Hell yeah, like, hear that. I read a manga called Sweat and Soup, and it's as weird as it sounds. I was about to say, what is the baseline? Hit us with it. All right, Sweat and Soup manga. It is not a Hadada manga, right? It is a Itchy, I would assume. If it's not, then goddamn, their marketing needs some work. But anyways, but yes, let me hear about what is the baseline. What are we dealing with? No judgment here. Although, frankly, for you and myself, we've already ruined ourselves in terms of people's perspective of us, especially when it comes to anime being, you know, degenerates or whatever. But anyways, break up. We're getting that perk. That we're not changing the subject. We're just playing video games. Spark says, go the suffering route. Much better content to what? I mean, is it? I think it depends on the kind of person you are. If you can really sell hatred as comedy, bang, profit. You know what I mean? But sometimes you just get hurt. There's a reason why I don't just, you know, it's not like masochism, the simulator, watching me play a Souls game or something, or Let It Die. It's because I just get sad. I'm not like, you son of a bitch, I'll get you next time. I'm like, I'm just the worst, dude. God, I suck. It's just sad. It's just sad. It's just like watching someone fall to ruin on it live on stream. Spark says, watch Dr. Disrespect play the game. Yeah, well, I'm not sure what do you guys think is? I don't know how to put this into a question that makes sense. I don't know if I could do that. Cause like, I feel like Dr. Disrespect is like a character, like fully character. Like, I don't think he's very similar to who he is naturally. Like, you know, everyone plays a character because they just ratchet themselves up a little bit. I mean, I get that, sure. But I also don't know if that's I don't think that's what's happening with him. I think he's genuinely like a different person. He's like, he becomes something else, you know? And I don't know if I have that kind. I feel like that would just be exhausting to go. He also streams a lot. So it'd be like going and like, yeah, for like such a long time. Also, for my people out in the comments, in the chat, sorry, has anyone here watched the Fantastic Beasts series, specifically the new one? How did you feel about the newest one? Quite a left field question. I just watched it last night, the newest Fantastic Beast movie. And I'm a big Harry Potter fan. I know people might be like, that's cringe. I'm cringe. All right, we're all kind of cringe, but I'm absolutely a fan of the show. Watched it as a kid, yeah. Lucas says, talking from personal experience, Grinn, not in Elden Ring. And also, usually, Luca, I feel like there's some bullshit afoot, you know what I mean? Like when someone's like, you should go over there and do that, I'm kind of like, right. And then I slowly we take our time. And then some person who's like my actual friend is like, hey, stop it. And I'm like, thank you. I see that shit. But also, I'm a freak. I rarely play a game I'm not like superly looking up guides on and like trying to learn about and trying to get better at. I have an obsessive kind of like skill acquisition mind where it's like when I'm doing something, I'm like, I want to be good at this. And then I'll just watch a bunch of people who are good at it talk about what to do to be good. And it's a problem. But so usually people don't have that, like get goofed, you know? But I feel like it's in the like it's like a D's nuts joke or something, you know, or like a Ligma thing. You know, you're like you feel like there's some blood in the water and you're like, you know what? I'm not gonna go for a swim, you know? Or you're just like, you know what? I don't feel like y'all friendly today. And you just be real careful, you know? That's how I feel. That's how I feel, usually. Granted, my people are also freakishly, like, polite, which is wild. I have not gotten wrecked in that way in a hot minute. I don't know if that's because of myself and my, like, not today, bitch, attitude, or if it's just luck. I'm assuming luck because, you know, people can be really crafty. Spark says, go the suffering route, much better to watch content. Lucas says, I don't know, I want to play it. I don't know, I think I'll find out once I play. Okay, so guys, you're gonna probably just have a good time saying, like, no backseat gaming. I fucking love backseat gaming though, because like to me it's like, hell yeah, cult, like hive mind. This is like the best part of the internet, or just working in sequence with people. You're all just feeding off each other's collective information and knowledge. Now some motherfuckers are cruel. That's what we talked about recently, just a minute ago. Them people exist. Also, unfortunately, who just want to see the world burn. But even them, they give you that moment of like, okay, did that make sense? No. Okay, well then I'm an idiot. I shouldn't have believed that to begin with, you know what I mean? You adapt, you become better, you become more idiot-proof. Lucas, no, rather, Spark says, well, I'll watch my Dr. Back. Axiom says, my sister made me watch it, and I was really bored though. Which was? Oh, the one. What do you call it? The whole Fantastic Beasts. I thought the third one, man, was really weirdly paced. Like there must have been a lot of COVID shittery happening with that, because golly, it felt like really off. Also, did anybody who watched the show feel like Newt as a character? How do I say this without getting wrecked? It's fine. I think you guys understand what I'm saying. I think Newt, and I really like Newt way better than Harry Potter, like the guy, because he's an actual person. He's not like Harry Potter is like built as a character to kind of predispose your face on. Kind of sorry to say this, but he's a little bit of a nothing burger. He doesn't like, you know, Hermione and what's his name, ginger guy is significantly more more of a character than Harry. Harry's just kind of like, oh, I got a scar on my face. Oh, it's always so depressing. And that's kind of him just vibing, and you're kind of like, okay. And you're mainly there for the world. But Newt seemed like he was built as a character that had like various weird flaws and shit, or like various, not even flaws, but just different stuff, uniqueness to him. And one of those things I thought was him having like an anti-social disorder, or even maybe being on a spectrum, like autism or something. But I feel like in the third movie, they really cranked that up to a point where it was really escalated. Like, he was here, and now he got way over here, and I'm not sure if anyone else noticed that, or if maybe I just have I didn't notice that in the first two movies, but I felt like in the first two movies, it seemed like there was something there, but just not made as, like, not cranked up to 10, which kind of can make it feel disingenuous. But no, I thought the movie was, I'm worried that we're not going to get a sequel, because I just wanted to, I hate when shows aren't concluded, like, fully, especially movies that have, like, billions of dollars worth of budget. And apparently there's a low likelihood that we'll get a fourth movie because of, like, the Fantastic Beasts series, is because we'll, what do you call it? What's the reason? It's like the lowest grossing Harry Potter movie of all time. It's like, the previous movie did $600 million, and the movie did $300 million, which is and that's like chump numbers compared to the Harry Potter movies as a whole, you know? BC says, I never watched the Fantastic Beasts movies, but I heard nothing but negative things. Yeah, but also, BC, that's the one thing that I don't really get a little bit. Like, I feel like people just also... I hate when people's love for a medium, whether it's like the initial books, or like they because I don't feel like, if you think about how hard that is to do, like I say, Harry Potter's a nothing burger, like in terms of the character Harry Potter. He's built to not be too unique because yeah, like, he doesn't have any disorders. He's usually doesn't have that much anxiety. If he does, it's like in a moment and then not in another. But if you think about it, like, this character, for those of you guys who did watch Harry Potter, like, we grew up with this character. Like, that's insane. Like, the investment and the kind of growing up with this kind of experience, and looking at also the world that was built whilst we were kids, I'm assuming was incredible and magical, literally. So that when we were adults, that still had that resonance / that same kind of feeling that it was pulling from. So with a brand new character, I think people were expecting to have that same kind of, like, Harry Potter reverence that is impossible to have, because they haven't showed Newt as like a tiny child building up to something, you know. But no, I always thought Newt as a character in the stories were a lot more fun for me. But I also think that, like, the whole point of that world that is interesting is not like the societal part of it. It's the school aspect of it, and like the kind of weird laws of this world, and the weird, like, access to, you know, crazy shit that, like, the weird magic thing would give you. And I think school cultivated that idea really, really well in the Harry Potter series, you know? Like, the idea that, like, Harry's going through this, all of these challenges for the Goblet of Fire and shit, like going under fucking a bunch of water, and this is some sort of weird, like, game that they all play as, like, a sport. It's like, that's really weird and really interesting, and kind of, like, just good mind fodder, you know? There's a new Jurassic Park movie coming out too, that looks kind of interesting. I haven't seen that. That's funny you say that, BC, because I've heard people light up, just like fucking light up the Jurassic Park series in general. But also, like, again, what is real is the fact that the Fantastic Beasts movies make money, which kind of makes sense because of the nostalgia for the series as a whole. But then Fast and the Furious also makes a shit ton of money. Jurassic Park, what I mean that is, like, a lot of people go to watch these movies. So as much as I can understand people being like, they're bullshit, who the fuck is watching them then? Like, clearly there's an audience for these bullshit movies. So you're the weird one here. Like, it's not them, you know? So again, a lot of people like the Fast and the Furious movies. I stopped watching them a good bit ago. Not that I have anything against them, it's just, yeah. And same thing about the Jurassic Park series. But also, I know a lot of people who, like, have a lot of love and reverence for the Jurassic Park series, which I didn't have, unfortunately. But also, I want to catch up on chat real quick, ladies and gentlemen. Specifically, Beastie was talking to me about Ranker of Kings, and I want to see what he's talking about. Okay, BC said this. Okay, BC says, I wound up forgiving him at the very end, in like the second to last episode. I think it was even though he's a total fuckhead in my eyes, I feel he truly made up for it when he stepped up fight not beside Boji, but to project a charge ahead, and even though he knew he couldn't win, basically trying to give his life for Boji, that really hit me. Yeah, no, I feel like that's fair. But for me, Beastie, I think we resonated on a different problem. So for me, what really grinded me up in this show that we're not talking about what it is, so I can talk about maybe a sussy thing without it being considered a spoiler. The thing that to me really bothered me about this character that we're talking about, the blue shirt guy, is not what he did at the place where Boji was looking down a very fiery situation. Anyways, but it was before all that. The fact that he let his person get the shit kicked out of him. Like Boji had both of his arms broken, he had both of his legs broken, and he sat there and watched as this person was winning. This person was winning, and just because he wasn't winning in the way that he wanted, he said, no, that's not good enough. You have to win in the exact way that I want. And then furthermore, he lets his student basically get into an inch of his life and almost die. All for what? Why did he do that? Because he liked Didus? He wanted Didus as a student because he saw potential in him? Boji could have won the fight. And so to me, that's what broke me. And then the fact that like he has this thing where he clearly has committed himself to like loving this character and like saying he's gonna protect him forever. And then for that to just change on a dime. And again, it's just the fact that he let that happen, where he let the person that he was supposed to protect, he let the person get annihilated, like broken. And if it wasn't for a certain person who I loved to bits in the show, has a very long nose, to me that's the thing that I can't forgive, is that like that nonsense idea of watching someone who you were responsible for literally get broken. It wasn't the act of like, it's like the difference between a quick death and torture. That to me was also, it was like there's so many good things in the show that have so much meaningfulness behind them, and like I can resonate and I can understand why you feel what you feel. But in this part, Beastie, I couldn't make sense of why now? Why are you willing to do such a horrible thing to the person that you're supposed to foster? And I understand maybe he's trying to get Boji to stop fighting, stop trying, because you can't, and it hurts me to see you constantly struggle. So just give up. But yeah, and if it wasn't for the guy, Beastie, the guy who has a spear, who stood up and said like, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna fucking kill you for what you just did. Like, what do you think, this is a game? You think you can just fucking let this person almost die? Like, to me, such a good thing. And again, it's such a cool thing that like that character later down the line gets kind of compromised, but we still hold out hope, and it pays out. It's just such a good show, man. Such a fucking brilliant show. But yeah, that's why to me I asked you that question, because to me I can't let that part go, and especially when like that's something that, and I think there's like a reason why, like he hasn't paid it back for me. Like, just because he wants to throw away his life doesn't do anything for me. It's like the one guy, the guy who's like the underling, puts it out best, where whenever he says he's gonna repay Boji, he says like, I will stand by your side forever. Like, I will constantly make sure you're okay. Not like, I'll die for you. It's like, what the fuck does a death mean? Nothing. It's like a waste. You know, it's like, it doesn't replace anything. And I like that, because it seems like in the story, Boji hasn't yet forgive him. So that makes me believe that it's not about that. To me, that makes me believe that the big brain of that all is webbing this storytelling together is gonna make it a moment where you truly see that the guy is giving everything. Because to me, you haven't shaved off the bad blood of you letting someone who you were supposed to be, like, if there was a reason for him doing it, then I'd be like, okay, I get it. But there doesn't seem like there's a good enough reason for him to let that have happened. Does that make sense, Beastie? So I need there to be like if they would have taken time to show that the swordsman guy was just broken, that he needed a student to teach, and he unfortunately never had that. So that love for this character turned into resentment, and then that's why he did what he did. That at least I can make sense. But they didn't show all that. They kind of just showed that he seemingly changed on a dime, and they hinted at that stuff, but not quite, you know. But yeah, also, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being a part of this kind of weird conversation. I've been waiting to talk to someone about this for a hot minute, so I was so excited when I heard BC said he was watching the show. But yes. Also, I don't know if I wanted to do this run again. I hate fighting the wizard at the end. Let's do this. Yeah. BC says worst part of the show. Yeah, man. No, I agree. To me, it was the one. Well, BC. How do you feel about the ogre situation and how the ogre situation concluded? Because that was also another one of those things where I was like, I think it's purposeful. I think they did the ogre situation towards the end of chapter 2. In such a way that it shows that the underworld king is kind of a fucking dickhead. Actually, he's not like just a pure guy. He's kind of like yeah. But what do you call it, Beastie? That's where shit got like dark as shit for me, and I was like, whoa. I was not expecting it to get to this level of dark, and then it topped that, and I was like, holy fuck. But again, I can't say enough how I just felt like I didn't actually have any hatred. Like, like sometimes when you see something dark, you're like, this is just sad, where it always left you feeling like there was a little bit of hope, and maybe it was because it was like a past memory, and the person who's standing before you clearly was able to push past all this pain, somewhat, and yeah, but yeah. The king's spear, what a Chad, a way to interrupt a fight too, really asserted dominance. Yeah, well, the thing that's crazy, Beastie, is that like they show that Beaudry's like dodging was fucking next level. Like even like he could have beaten or not gotten hit by the guy in the blue shirt, because the guy at the underworld guard, he couldn't even land a hit on him, So it was like that. Oh, but Beaudry was cracked from the very beginning. And yeah, and if only that was the twist of fate that they did, where they're like, hey, bitch, a guy in blue shirt, hey, how about you come at me? How about that? Oh. Lone Sicket says, so Sweatin's soup is about a girl who has a very bad sweating condition, and she works at this company that makes toiletry, and their products are the only thing that can counteract her sweating, making it less noticeable. One day she meets this guy who charges all her favorite products, and he becomes attracted to the scent of her sweat and inspires him to make a new line of products, and he does this by okay. You said it. I did not doubt you. I'm not disappointed by what I read. That lives up to the nightmare that I was expecting. Well done, finding such a nightmare. I'm sure it's fun. I'm sure it's like a goofy fun, yeah, slice of life kind of thing, yeah. Then they get into a relationship, and yes, Grinn, isn't it? I knew it. It just feels like, how could you not with that kind of pacing, kind of situation. Beastie says, I feel that honestly, that extremely hard to look past the fact that he's supposed to be a mentor, and it's even, yeah. Which, again, Beastie, to me, I guess, like, I don't know, it's also bullshit to me that the guy with the blue shirt, right after he does the second unforgivable act, he like immediately starts to repent. Like, he immediately starts to like say, oh, this was a bad choice. And it's like, what the fuck? Are you stupid? Like, what's going on? What the fuck? You're insane. Yeah, it's one of the only like slight things that the show does even slightly weird, but I think it's meant to be like a point of contention in the future, especially knowing where season 2 might go, which, dude, Beastie, I'm not sure if you can stomach waiting around for like the rest of the very end of the stream, but I would love to talk to you about, like, tell everyone to shoo away so I can talk to you about what would happen in season 2, you think? Because what happens in season 2 is a big old thing. Like, I wonder what that will be. I wonder what the way they'll handle it. But also, the thing that sucks about this Beastie is that Ranker of Kings is having like, the person did the math, and it would basically be at least 2024 or 2023 to get a season 2, and that's if they immediately signed in gave them the go ahead as soon as they finished making the manga. So like the guy who's making the manga right now is uploading like drip feeding stuff little by little, to like slowly chip away at it. So like to me, people did the math of like the rate in which he's uploading the manga versus that would be, you know, enough volumes to make a season 2. But yeah. So to me, I'm like, oh, it's a little bit out the way. But honestly, it's one of those shows that concludes in such a way that leaves me kind of content, and I can't wait to see what happens next. Though, like I'm very content with the way it ended, but I'm super excited for where it will go. You know what I mean? Like, and that's really, I've never really felt that way for a lot of shows. A lot of shows leave you like, God damn it, give me more, or like, what's going on? Like, I'm just unsatisfied, and now I need a season 2, you know? Or now it's like, no, don't make more. This was fine, you know? But no, that show does that ending really well. I found. Yeah, I was about to say that. BC says, I never understood why he actually wanted to mention Mentor Dynus over Boji as well. Wouldn't yes a master want to nurture that bring up something who is no love or knowledge of the sword and making them strong? Yeah, I think he has a reverence for boss. I think that was what the kind of designer was maybe hinting at, is he has a reverence for boss, and like for Boji, he was never able to like gain in strength because his strength was taken from him essentially. But yeah, so he was never able to gain in strength, and I think that's the measure. Even like when you look at the training that the swordsman's doing with the other guy, it's all like strength training. So I think he perceives strength as, or like combat prowess as strength, and that's why he seen Didus was able to, like, you know, actually push and make him back up. He had that menacing power as boss. But yeah. That was fucking awful, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, I agree. You talking about the ogre one, man? Whew. Whew. Oh, we got Spectral Vengeance. God damn, it's gonna knock me down a bunch. BC says, I do not fault him in the slightest. He knew how that made the ogre feel. He knew full well that's what railed them up. And what he did after, are you serious? After having him watch so many, and just end the little guy in front of his face, not a single bit of remorse. That's just, yeah, no, but yeah, to me, that's a great way to, that's a good, I totally agree with you. But to me, it's also the thing, BC, is that he, how do I put it? He, what's that? It's how, like, he's like, oh yeah, like you have to become a part of my guard. Like, that to me was like, he doesn't owe you fucking nothing, you little bitch. I pisses me off still thinking about it. Where like, he deserves to be with Moji and just fucking have a good life, you rat. Like, what do you fucking, god damn it makes me mad. Even just thinking about it now, it's like, what a fucking bitch. What a fucking monster. I hope you died in the ranking chambers, you rat. Anyways, he doesn't seem that bad, but he's kind of he's a monster. he's a fucking monster. All right. Oh great, we're gonna die to that stupid. Oh god, if we get cast. If that thing gets close to me, we're dead, because we can't kill it unless we do it melee damage. And go, hurry up and go away. Where the hell are we going? There's this. Die. God damn it. Kill this thing. Yes, why the oh, if we die to this dude. I fucking, what are they thinking? What is this, dude? What is their problem? That they're like, yeah, let's put an immune person that only can be damaged by melee in a fucking thing where, when there's builds, again, why it just makes no sense. I get maybe like a challenge mode where, like, guess what, bitch, you don't get to have it all right? There's a challenge mode you can't achieve. Suck it. But like this, where like I literally can't deal damage to that guy unless I do melee or something, it's stupid. It's just goddamn annoying. Lone Syndicate says, to be fair, I didn't, oh god, lit up by the ice chart. To be fair, I didn't find this on my own. My coworker at work, woman of culture, I see, golly. Weird. This is, and you work in a, well, no, you work in two things. You have like a kind of a weirder other kind of random thing, and then you have a straight up you work at a gym, right? I think that's right. I just don't know if your gym was the internship or if you have a 2-job kind of situation happen. I think you might. He told me you worked as like a telemarketer person who kind of like, not telemarketer, you pick up the phone, you sell gym contracts, etc. So you have a woman working in this gym who's reading anime but sweating? Like, huh. It might be telling. There might be some connections here, you know what I'm saying? Not judging, I'm just saying, you know, everyone has their weird thing, but huh. Yep, I work in yeah. That's a little something. BC says, Shadow Bro. Dude, fucking Kage, my guy. Our boy Kage. Gotta love it. It's the best, dude. What a cool thing, because they make him like, do so many cool design things in the show too, where like he is made to be kind of weirdly grotesque and odd. Like he looks out of place a lot of the time, and they're kind of just like, yeah, but he's like, he has the soul of the kindest human ever, you know. Also, his backstory was really dark. Like there's multiple moments where like, god damn, this is getting depressing as shit, and then it's like, actually, I'm actually happy now, because they make it always end with some nice jovial happiness. BC says, honestly, I can't wait if it's even half as good as the first season. I would gladly watch a few. Dude, absolutely. I'm gonna say, did you? Because for me, BC, in my head, I'm kind of like, it's so good that like, if it did come out really fast, I would like almost. It's one of the few things where I'm like, in this case, if we can get half of the quality and like the consistency of these characters' choices and shit, I'd take it. I'd take the like pretty substantial like waiting period, because like whenever someone says, you know, the game got delayed and it became better, I'm like, did it? I think it became like acceptable in the slightest way, because I don't think they would publish something that was complete. Well, no, that's not true. A lot of companies do that, but oh no, he was so weak anyway. Oh god, that's the pyramid. Oh, that's bullshit. Anywho, pain. BC says, wait a few years. Yeah. Man, it's also one of those shows where like, it sounds kind of weird to say this, but like, I feel like I'll give myself a little bit of time before I would rewatch it, you know, like maybe like a year and a half time of rewatching it, which is weird because you think, oh, it's such a good show, I thought you were like really into it, and it's like, I'm really into it, but it's also that special kind of crazy, oh, we were so close to letting it all rip and die, oh damn it. Well, I don't think we can one phase him anyway. Actually, I think we can. We could have done that. But yeah, no, it's one of those few shows where I feel like I need to take it all in. Like even now, we're talking to you about it now, Beastie, I'm still thinking about all the crazy things that it did that like is kind of wild to me, at least, where I'm like, this is next level shit, you know? Ooh. Stop it. Hurry up and summon the next thing. Oh, there we go. Oh, BC says, I want to see what Kage can do when he traps the immortal. I thought Kage was gonna pop off. and I hope season 2 gives Kage some kind of although I agree with that. I was gonna say, do you think there's a chance that our boy inherits his powers back? Because there was a deal that happened with him and shit, and his dad's kind of a dickhead about it. So I'm like, do you think now that something's happened, that he will get the powers back? Yeah. But what do you call it? I was worried there, Beastie, at the end. Well, like it was really close to having a really like shit ending to where I was just like, if they fucking end it and our boys aren't together, I'm gonna be fucking pissed. This is gonna be that nightmare ending that I was thinking about. All right, you can't have him in the opening, standing by him and shit, and do that. All right, that's not okay. This is not right. Okay. I care so much about this show, and you will too if you watch it. I promise you. Okay. Let's do this. Axiom says, oh my god, why PvE escalates so hard? Which one? What do you mean? PVZ? What's that? Is this a movie or a show you're watching, Axiom? Oh. Also, dude, it's been a while since I I basically made like an anime list. Basically like I'm at the point where I'm like, I still have that. You have those moments where like I know there's so much to watch. And I'm like when I'm checking out trailers or ambas, I'm like, that looks interesting. That looks interesting. I want to watch that. I'll wait for that to get dubbed. I'll wait for that to finish. That kind of thing when you're watching or trying to watch shows. But simultaneously, I'm also sitting there like I don't keep track of those like I should, but I don't. So I'm kind of like, what is there to watch? Right? You ask yourself that question. You feel like an idiot. You're like, what kind of show is there to watch? I mean, okay. Like and then I asked you guys, say something. I'm like, yeah, right, that was one I thought would look great. And then you watch that. So I went through like the Crunchyroll or whatever, like the top 10 animes or whatever, and just started going through shit, scrolling for like 10 minutes. I'm like, that was it. That was one. And then I have like just a bookmark of like 50 shows. I'm like, God damn, okay. That's smothering at this point. That's like overwhelming. And a different way. BC says, I feel that I've never watched a show that gave so many different emotions, man. I gotta let it simmer for a bit. Let it wash. Yeah, man, that's a good way to put it too. I forget. I felt like when I was watching it, I was, yeah, like I keep thinking. It's one of the few times where like usually because I always do like the review of it essentially, and I kind of like go back through the series and I'm like, that part was fun, that part was weird. And going back through your like thought process of the shows, it's just like, what the hell? Like that makes sense now. That's connected to that. The way that like I had this proclivity here, this emotional like rage or something or frustration that kind of got just smothered entirely. Like Beastie, how much do you fucking love the moment with the lady with the schnoz? You know what I mean? At the end, you know. So that's where I broke, man. That's where I got annihilated, my guy. I'm even tearing up now thinking about it. It fucking wrecked me, man. Where she finally is like, oh, God damn it. Oh, shit. And it's funny because, like, if you think about it, the first time we ever see her, the first 2 episodes, you're like, fuck this rat, you know? This piece of shit. And then you're like, oh, actually, no, she just kind of cares a lot, and she doesn't want him to be in danger, or like, she doesn't have confidence in him because, you know, but it's not because she doesn't love him. Golly, you know? Man. Emotional damage, the show, you know what I mean? But it's also like, it's the definition of emotional. Ranker of Kings is the definition of emotional damage, but it's also equal to emotional repair. It's insane. It's like I'm gonna fuck you up, but you're gonna get healed after this, like better than you were. You know what I mean? And that's madness. That's madness. Oh, dude, yeah, the intro fucking, like, a lot of people say the intro is so fucking the best. I get it, it's cool, but this show has a fucking beautiful intro. I do every single time, especially the way it, like, wraps up. It's very, because I always skip the intro, even regardless if it's good, just because I want to get to the meat and potatoes. But even though, like, I always skip it just enough to where I can get that tail end of it, because that's just such a beautiful harmony, and, like, just, oh, it's so good to the ears. Something alarm. And more sword action. No, but neat. What is that actually? Spell lever sword. Graveborn things convert damage. Is it chaotic? It is not. Man, they really need to up chaotic stuff to just be the baseline drop, because it's just known if it's not that, then it's worthless. You know, pain. BC says easy top 10, right, dude? Easy, not even close. Also, though, BC. To me, what like takes it to another level, Beastie, is like I can rationalize how some of my favorite shows ever are like I like them because it's my likes, you know, like I like Blood Blockade Battlefront, and I like Welcome to Demon School, Irma. Like I can like these shows, but I can understand why somebody maybe wouldn't. People who don't like Zero Hero shows, people who are into slice of life shows, I get it. You know, I understand why they maybe are just like, this is just not even something I'm interested in. Ranker of Kings, man, resonates on such a human level that to me, I think it'd be like, that's why I say that it's like, to me, whenever I think about it, it starts to reach this level of like, it's a masterpiece in terms of like, I think I could give this to anybody and them have a incredibly positive experience, regardless of what you like. And that's crazy, you know? But yeah. Axiom says, Plants vs. Zombies as Escalates is a mod for Plants vs. Zombies 2 that actually makes the game good, but it's really hard. Okay, interesting. Okay, and that's awesome to hear you're playing that. I really like the idea of Plants vs. Zombies. I just wish they would have kind of developed that. Like, imagine if there was Plants vs. Zombies, but you were playing like the mad scientist or just a guy who was like putting down turrets and shit, and then like also could do some damage. I guess they still have a good formula for the game, but I just in any game that I can play the summoner, but also like the strategist, can't wait. Hopefully, a game comes out like that soon. But it's also like third person or first person or engaging in such a way that makes you feel like you have to act in real time. BZ says, I have 38 shows to watch in my notes on my phone. Yeah, man, it's just brutal. And like, if you go down to like the most popular show, or like even if you just go and watch Ambus for a couple days, you're like, fuck, that looks really cool. That's like such a funny moment. I'll add that to the queue, and then it just keeps stacking up. BC says, bro, I wanted to cry, man. The character development is crazy, dude. It's absolute madness. I agree, man. It's like, again, you're like, this bit, oh no, oh god, oh gee. And also, did you catch that moment at the NBC where she kind of like grabs what's his name's arm, and you're like, oh yes, baby, what a wholesome thing. And he's of course a goof about it. BC says, factuals. Below Syndicate says, I love me a good anime opening, man. Yeah, I like them too, but some people like really like put them on a playlist and like listen to them constantly, and I'm like, I don't know about that. I can't do that. With the Ranker of King ones, I think I could. That one has just enough of like a rock and roll rev up, and then just like a nice grace at the end. BC says, oh, I want to hear, yeah. Lone Secret says, I legit have a whole playlist for my favorite anime. Oh, do you listen to it regularly? Because I feel like I can like the show a lot, but to me, I don't know, I guess music has, especially when working out, you kind of have to find this specific kind of frequency that you're like, okay, I feel like I'm like running it, you know what I mean? Like, there's this like vibey kind of like, yeah, like that, anything that makes you do that. That to me is peak. Whereas the anime is kind of like there's just so much weird percussion volume thing. They're like trying to like stimulate the brain as much as they possibly can to keep your ass awake so that you can go to the next episode. Either that or it's like super slow and you're like, are you trying to take me to sleep right now? What's happening? A BC says, oh, I want to hear that. Oh, the song. BC says, yeah. What was that exactly to? Oh, goddamn, my damn delayed ass. But yeah. Question is, when is Lone Syndicate or Axiom gonna watch it? I'll be honest, Beastie. If I could just take a moment to say thank you, because like the fact that you also it resonated with you validated my experience. I just wanted to say thank you, because if I were to like, hey, suggest this to Lone Syndicate would be like, I don't get it. I think it's actually, I mean, I don't, that didn't happen for me. I'd be like, oh, to me, the fact that you were pound for pound, even if you just lied to me for this whole stream, it made me feel so good, man. You just made me feel like I was on cloud 9, like reacting to shit with you. It was, yeah. I'm so happy that you watched it and then you had the same experience, because I just got a vibe with someone that had the same like reverence for the thing that I did, which was just too fun of a time. But I also hope that if anybody, because we're gonna upload this and archive this on YouTube eventually, I'm not sure who would put up with watching the whole thing up to this point, but it's called Ranker of Kings. Watch it however you can, in whatever way you can, because I think it's one of those ones you want to watch. It's worth watching. But yeah, I don't know. I really liked it, and I hope you guys do too. But also, maybe I'm dead ass wrong, and maybe it's just not for everybody. But I'd be surprised, or at least I think there's a high probability that it's for a lot of people. People can have their likes and dislikes, but I think this one does something human, which some shows don't necessarily do. And if it does, it comes with like the pain of what it means to be human. Like the suffering and the loss and all that, which to me, I don't know, as much as I understand that those things exist in the world, I don't have the inclination to want to sit with them for an ungodly amount of time. I'll trust in the world to kick my ass. I don't need to seek it out. If anything, I need to get stuff that repairs me, because I am sure it's gonna happen, you know. Can I see what the other one is? I might just have to pick up one to see the other. Oh, maybe they were both the same. That was weird, huh? Spell damage. Ooh. Ooh, I was gonna ask you something, Beastie. I don't know if I want to. I'm not gonna ruin this. I'm not gonna ruin this moment. I want to sit with this, just as happiness. I'm not. I was gonna ask you something that's not worth it. Beastie says, well, in all honesty, she was she was a jackass, but like, to me, that was the thing, Beastie, that kind of, to me, like, I understand that she was wrong, but I understand also that the reason why she was wrong, you know? Like, if you were put in the same situation, like, genuinely, and you love this thing dearly, this thing, we'll call it, and this thing, what do you call it, you perceive to be incredibly fragile. It'd be like if you had a kid that was what do you call it, completely, like, paralyzed. Would you let that kid go into the army, even if the kid wanted to with all his heart, you know? And maybe you do. But to me, I understand the idea of, like, I love this person more than anything. I don't want them to be put in a position in which they'll suffer or fail to this extent. That's like the essence of what kind of motherhood in a degree is, but then also that's in essence what motherhood is also, in good sense, that you have to let go eventually, you know. But yeah, no, I get it, especially considering Boji is like a perma child essentially, which is rough. Which he's not. He basically can't grow because that was taken from him essentially. Alone Sing, it says, that's not always the case, Grinn. Some openings are common. No, I know. Yeah, you're right. I just, to me, I don't see myself, like, putting them on where I'm forever, you know? Like, I think some openings are very good. Like, to me, Tower of God is an exception to the rule. But even then, I'm not sure if I would listen to Tower of God always. Like, anime openings have this kind of, like, classical music reverence, or, like, some badass hip-hop kind of thing. Like, they can sometimes do that. But maybe it's because I don't also understand what they're saying, like, because a lot of it's Japanese, that I find myself not listening to it forever, you know. Or some music, you're like, oh, I could listen to the song so many times, because I don't understand the language necessarily. So maybe that's what it is in my head. But I understand that a lot of people have that proclivity to watch anime openings. BZ says, thank you, man, for showing me this god tier show. I'm not sure if you found that. You found that within your heart of hearts. The fact that you found enjoyment out of that show to such an extent, BC, made me overwhelmingly happy. So, like, I'm like an energy vampire out here, all right? And I'm feeding off that, okay? So thank you for nourishing my energy vampire ways. Let's do a normal run, yeah, because we still got a good bit of time. BC says, I love them the most that even though there's these beings with so much devastating power, there's little old Boji who refuses to shed blood and that would never take the life of a guy, even has a rope on him at all times and wrap up evil. Yeah. But Boji he was willing to do that actually at the very, very end. Remember, he said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go and try to kill," essentially, but. What do you call it? I also like that, BC. How do you... I was surprised by that. Like, to me, it's like Boji technically... Well, it's kind of... We're kind of well within the spoiler range. I'm pretty sure anyone with a fucking frontal lobe can put together what we're talking about, BC. And it's not... Again, none of the spoilers would take away from the experience, I don't think. Like, there's nothing in the show that we've talked about, or even are going to talk about, that are like twists. There maybe is like 2... and none of them I even think would bother people if they know about them. But I will say that to me, I was really intrigued that it makes sense that a certain character is overwhelmingly strong, we'll say. But also it makes sense that it's like the kind of Hunter x Hunter power scaling where there are people that, like, generally you'll just annihilate everybody. But there's also someone who just has just the right cheat sheet that just makes you kind of useless. And nerfs your overpowered nature, and you're like, okay, interesting. And to me, that it's pretty explicit, but also it shows that, like, another person's power, can perfectly counter this other person's power. And technically it's correct, because if you think about it, Beastie, like Boss killed a god, and yeah, you know what I mean. So then by yeah, like what, like what? Anyway, also, dude, Beastie, the fucking fight scene of it all, man. Oh, the way that he's fucking Naruto running on the side of a wall and shit, and just, oh my god. And also they make it so that Boss is even more boss at this point, like can dance and shit. Golly. This. Lone Singed says, for me, I look up the lyrics in English. That's why I can enjoy. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. You remember all of them though? I guess if you listen to it a couple times, like one at a time, and then you mapped out the lyrics in your head, and then you kind of were like, okay, that's what they're saying there. Yeah, I guess I could imprint. That makes sense. But golly, you have a whole ass playlist. So shit. Do you have to get a refresher, or do you fully does it instill? You're pretty good in terms of you seem incredibly intelligent, so I could see that being stuck. But golly, oh my chest. BC says, hell no. No, you have to watch to truly get a feel of the show. I think. What was this referring to? Oh hell no. You have to watch to truly get a feel of the show, I think. What was that referring to, Beastie? What is that tied to? Lucy says, I'm enjoying hearing you and Beastie talk about Ranker of Kings and just talking about your experience. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, good. You just validated me. Lowen Syndicate. Thank you kindly, my friend. I was like, this is going to be a real rough stream for anybody else. But no, that's nice. Cause but that's how I feel also. I'm much more in the hearing somebody's love and reverence for something only makes me more intrigued into what it is, especially when they give it reason for why they like what they like. They're like, oh, okay. Again, for me, it's like, oh, I like Zero to Hero stuff, or oh, the resonance of this character and the fact that you end up fully loving them even though they're flawed. It's like, oh wow, okay. All that to me is that sounds interesting. I wonder if I want to pursue that now, And also the fact that it is a Zero to Hero show is madness. And dude, the world building, Beastie. Oh, Beastie. How much? Oh, Beastie. I am so happy that they went as dark as they did with Boss and Miranjo, specifically in regards to how Boss handled shit towards the town. You know what I mean, my guy? You know what I mean? I had no empathy. I just had a shit-eating grin on my fucking face yeah, fucking kill them all. Sorry, that's a big spoiler, but fuck them. Holy shit, I hated them so much. They did such a good job about you becoming a monster. You taking the mantle of a fucking evil god of yeah, boss. Not one lives, and they all die horribly. Whoever they are, whatever age, whatever fucking whatever. All of them gone. What a bunch of fucking monster horrible people. Anyways, sorry. The show takes you back into that blood-curdling rage that you're yeah, all of them eviscerated. This is a fake world, and this is all lies. Twitch, we're just chilling here. But they do a really good job about these people being the closest thing I think you can reach in terms of just no life. No life them. Just stop it. Just stop it. This needs to be fixed on a species going forward level. Cut it off. Everybody else gets to go forward. This needs to be not happen. This is going to be taken out of context. But if you see the show and you see what these people do, you're yeah. Fuck them. Everyone gone. Anyways, okay, maniacal, tangent aside. BC says, wait, how did you feel about the wish of being basically stolen? Kind of, sort of, do you think she deserved it? I think, to me, from a narrative perspective, it makes sense. And also they foreshadowed it. The guy himself was Not yet. No. Also, they also foreshadowed even more in the story because the person has it to make right the thing that's happening with the devil. So I feel like that's something that's going to pay off in the future. So yeah, I think like Miranda's going to have to do the thing that she promised for the guy in red, we'll say, save him or fix him. And then she's going to probably in that maybe going to have some sort of thing where it's going to help the one person. But also, to me, it's a really interesting thing, Beastie, because if you think about it, are either of them completely worth saving? Because like the swordsman guy kills a lot of bad people. Like, yeah, like the one guy, kind of a monster. Like they make you feel sorry for him and etc. But like he also did fucked up shit, and then the one girl also did fucked up shit. So it's kind of like yeah. And to me, I think yes, because Boji, they would not have succeeded without Boji at all. Like so like to me, it was Boji's wish and supplementary. Boji wanted to make right the situation, and Didus kind of did that for him. But I really hope in season 2 they show that those characters, because to me, Didus kind of did some really dark shit, especially at the beginning. So to me, just to have him be like, I took a minute and I'm kind of like, and I'm like, that's not good enough. So, and again, it's more than that. But I do hope in the there was, in season 2, if there ever is one, or in the manga, at this point, hell, I might even read it. But I would hope that Didus actually shows that, like, no, that was horrible for me. Like, that was actually like something that I will absolutely change, But yeah, the stolen witch, that's interesting. Yeah, because to me, I was just happy that, because I was really worried. Like, again, they fake you out. I'm like, oh no. I mean, this horrible, like, at this point, I'm really game for the one person. Like, again, especially after the arc of her suffering, it's like, Jesus Christ, and the fact that, like, again, they did such a good job about, like, her owning up to everything and being like, yeah, no, I did horrible things, and you're like, okay, but then they're also like, I get it. Like, honestly, I don't know if anyone would have not done horrible things with what's been happening to you, But also they did, again, like, if they didn't do the afterlife sequence, I would be like, fuck this bitch, you know what I mean? But it's the fact that they had harmony, like the people that were affected found harmony, and that made us kind of be like, okay, and even the person who is involved, Boji, found also harmony because you got to see it, you got to see it play out. So he's like, okay, she forgives him, she forgives her. Okay, so, like, again, brilliant storytelling stuff, like, just fucking insane. Also, Beastie, at any point in the show, Ranker of Kings, were you able to figure out, were you ever able to predict what's going to happen? Because to me, that's the insanity, or you did not even try. Because this show, I'm the kind of person who is always, like, trying to predict what's going to happen next in a show, like, especially in movies. Like, anime, it's a little bit harder because it's just so crazy. But in TV shows and movies, I'm always able to be like, this is going to happen because this is what this is leading to, and storytelling, and yeah, and then it happens. I'm sure everyone has that kind of ability to some extent, especially with how much people watch content now. But in Ranker of King, I could not. It does so good at, like, misdirecting or like subvert expectation. Like, you think it's gonna go this way and then it's like, nope. You think it's gonna go this way and nope. They think it's all gonna culminate in this way and then it's like, nope. And that makes sense because it basically takes what, like, Ranker of King does from a pulled back perspective is it takes every fantasy trope you've ever seen, mirror, mirror on the wall, evil stepmother, attaining power from a god, the perfect king, a pure king, a person that with a sword can become overpowered, King Arthur, that kind of thing. Witches, magic, basically witches giving power to other, like, every trope that exists in fantasy, especially within our storytelling of fantasy, exists in the show. It's kind of like a love letter to those, but then it subverts all those expectations in beautiful succession. BC says, spoilers, I feel... So I feel, spoilers, I feel like Lone needs to actually watch the show to feel everything that it has to offer. Oh, I see it. Yeah. I definitely don't think, I don't think that's what Lone, I don't think that's what Lone thinks it's meaning, but, like, getting our experience. But yeah, no, I hope he puts it on the list, and maybe after he's done watching Quintessential Quintupling and what do you call it? Because I do think you should finish both of those, because I do think it's the kind of show that you shouldn't try to do with another show. You know what I mean, Lone Sick? Like, I don't think you should try to do 3 animes at once with this. Finish both those animes up and then be like, okay, and then go in, okay? Because I feel like if you won't be able to, like, to me at least, in my opinion, my humble opinion, I don't think you'll be able to really, like, take it all in unless, because there's a lot going on, unless you're actually present with it, you know? Although, again, I think you might probably be the exception to that rule, but yeah. BC says, boss friggin' this dude. The second I saw her, I really wanted them all to do it. Yeah. Every single, like, bro, how the fuck? Yeah, exactly, man. But also, they just keep stacking. They just keep stacking up the atrocity. Like, you're just like, fucking, what are your guys' problem? Like, ugh. Let's see, it says, yep, I have a playlist of 84 anime-related songs, rather it be openings, endings, etc., different versions of the songs, and there is a person I listen to who makes English versions of anime openings, so some of them are in there. Oh yeah, so that makes sense, because I feel like if you knew multiple languages, which I do not, I feel like that would make more sense. If, like, you'd be able to understand most of those just by the virtue of you like hearing the same rhythmic pattern behind the vocal cords, and then you being like, oh, is that what that word means? You know, because I've heard the song in English a bunch. Is this what it means in you know, whatever Japanese, etc. Also, that's such a cool idea for content. Like, that's just like a consistent drip feed of fun content to make. You know, what a cool idea. People are so creative. BC says, valid. I wonder how they're gonna fix. The sword guy. I wonder how they're gonna fix him. Though I somewhat give him a pass, because he's never wanted what he gained, and he just manifested it in him later on, and it felt like he drove him to be that way. Whereas she knew full well everything that would happen, and the lives that would need to be taken. So it's like it's a mess. I guess I perceive it the opposite way. I guess to me, for her, there was almost no choice, because it's complete obligation. Like this guy not only saved me, not only like for the witch, what do you call it? This guy not only saved me, he gave everything for me. Now it's my turn to try to repay him. It's kind of fucked up a boss to say, yeah, give me everything. But I completely understand that idea. Also, the fact that she had nobody, like literally everybody was ripped from her in a horrible way. So to me, I empathize with her because of the pain that, like, yeah, you're my only person in this world. Why would I care about all these other people, you know? Like, you're all I've ever had, you know? Whereas the swordman guy, I don't know what, like, if you think about it, like, I don't think... how long did he live? Like, why not just, if you're immortal or you can't die, stop taking damage. Just, like, fuck off somewhere and stop going into battles and shit and getting yourself lit up and then becoming more detached. Like, to me, it was a weird thing that, like, because he was immortal, he's just like, fuck it, now I'm evil. Like, to me, that didn't make the most sense. Whereas if they said something like, oh no, he's been fighting for 300 years, then it's like, okay, his mind's breaking, or like that clearly has too much weight on his mind. But he, like, his one brother, the guy with the crazy shorts, the goofball, the strategist, he's a fully human, so he's not immortal, or like has longer life expectancy. So to me, he's no more older than he is. So it's kind of like, yeah, to me, I wouldn't give him a pass, because if anything, he kept going into battles, kept dying on repeat, and kept getting corroded. And maybe in the season 2 they will talk about, like, oh no, every time he dies, or every time he wanted to, like, sacrifice his body and himself to save people, but every time he did that, he got more evil. Maybe, I don't know what happened. But Miranjo, I kind of am on more of her side, because like I completely understand that sentiment of her idea of like, what do you, it's like the same idea of, like, if you could say, like, it's like the people on a track, like if I put your mom on a railway track, and then you had, like, the instance of killing 4 people that you had no idea about, or you could save your mom, or maybe I even tell you That like these are people who you will never meet, because that's kind of what is going on with that. You'll never meet, you'll never interact with them. Maybe even some of them are old, right? Would you pull the track to save your mom? Most people say yes, well, given you have a good relationship with your mom. Or to put anybody in that place where you would pull the trigger, where you would say no. And also, no one ever know this. You'd just be like, gone, you'd be saved. She'd be saved, it'll all be good. Yeah, like to me, I think most people are like, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm sure, and maybe this makes me a monster, but I can't do that. Like, I'm sure she would do the same for me. So I if anything, I feel even more obligated. But so to me, in that sense, I get it. Whereas him, it's like, you have a curse that is going to make it so that when you take damage, you're going to become more evil. And then you're like, I'm going to go take more damage. And I'm like, and then you're like, why? And you're like, because I could save people. And I'm like, okay, but what if that makes you a murderous rampage monster where you kill more than you saved? I don't know, let's not think about it. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right. I'm not sure about it. This seems a little sus. But it's interesting. It's interesting that that's the percent, because I understand that one too. I think it's just it's like a slight deviation from how my brain perceives things. But I also could have missed certain things because I'm not like 100% on. So maybe I've seen some stuff with the one guy that was awesome. But yeah. But even still, like, he still was a part of the thing where like everybody died, all the goblins got murdered. Whereas if I think about Miranjo, I don't know all the atrocity that she actually did, besides the thing with Boji and a person that he cares about. So like, I don't know all the other things that she did, you know? Like, I don't think she, yeah. I don't know what, I'm lost in like they didn't really revel in the fact that she like everyone, oh my god, you know? But yeah. BC says, not to me, I wanted to see what would happen next, and when I did try to predict what would happen when Boss was locked away, I thought he'd pop out and completely destroyed, but he just pelted back down. Yeah, exactly, right, man? And it really made me lose respect for him as that's true. Yeah. No, there's plenty of those moments where like, but again, we understand the character a little bit, Beastie, to where like, yeah, I kind of get it. Like, this person is kind of doing all this for you, and you have this obligation to keep her safe because you fucking failed her, and she did so much in the name of you, to where you're like, fuck, like, yeah. And also, he's made so many bad choices, to where he's kind of like, I'm only here because of her. And she's funny because she thinks she's only here because of him, and it's kind of like this cannibalistic kind of thing with both of them, which but yes. BC says, that makes sense. I assume he was super old since it manifested at 25, and it said, but I didn't take that into account. Died at his hands and dyed his pants. Actually ate. Yeah, I wonder. Maybe that's one of his only traits, because they make a point to say that like the one brother got all of the demonic strength or demonic power. The guy with the weird shorts got all the like strategy mind, but he was fully human. And then the other guy seemingly was also human as well, but then like something went wrong. BC says he wanted to fight for Despan, that's his name, Despan's army, and he was a really great swordsman after the ogre incident. He even talked to Pan like, I'll be here by your side and believe in you as a leader, or well, again, to me there's a lot of stuff like for him, I don't claim that he's not a good person. I think, to me, the designer, and this is I think by design, I don't think they've explained why he did what he did. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why he chose to like what, like, I don't know, like, to me they didn't explain why immortality directly means becoming a fucking sociopathic monster, you know, especially that fast. Like, I understand that like the pain that comes from that, of like this thing that his father did so much cruelty to get. He unfortunately has to hold that burden of that cruelty and the morbid thing with that, you know. But I think if they described it like this is to me, I guess I just don't associate. If I do associate immortality with madness, it's the exposure of time. So you're like, oh, okay, you've lived for 500 years. You have so many crazy thoughts. You've seen so many horrible things. You've seen the same problems exist forever. So it's just like an unsolving issue. So you're just broken and you're just insane. You know, I get that. But the fact that they haven't made explicit the time passing or the cost, or like, again, if they could really fix all of my like kind of doubt, if they were just like, as soon as this manifests, you started getting corrupted. Boom, straight up, done. And yeah, I don't know. Lone Syndicate says, after hearing about this anime, I'm gonna have to check it. I hope you do. Lone Syndicate. But again, make sure you get your plates clean before you jump on in, because I worry that, like, you know, yeah, they're like you watching quintessential coupling, etc. Also, that one's not dubbed. When I was looking through anime to put to my list, I'm gonna get after and watch. That one is not, unfortunately, not dubbed, or maybe it is, and it's just not dubbed on Crunchyroll. That's always the weird thing. But yeah. BC says, yeah, they really did not explain it or why his blood was black, seeing as how he, when he found out that he cut himself, in the blood had turned red. Yeah. Well, maybe it's because when, like, they finally did do the deed, you know, kill dad, what do you call it? Yeah, it's like, oh, shit, okay, no, this maybe has something to do with, like, you know, the transition of power, kind of. Which, man, Beastie, part of me is wondering what the hell is going to happen with that, like, you know, because again, we're already kind of deep into weird, like, if you know, you know, if you don't, you don't. But there was a deal with the bad demon person. Well, maybe not bad demon person, but there was a deal with the demon that basically said, I'm gonna take the power of somebody, and that happened, and that's maybe why a certain character in the show is pint-sized little guy. But I wonder if now that some things have happened, if that power will be okay. That power will be returned, basically. So to me, I'm wondering if that's going to be the case. But yes. But ladies and gentlemen, it's getting relatively close to showtime being ended here. So I don't know if we should go raid some. Is Lucas streaming again? Did he stop and start immediately? Bop bop. It is dubbed, Grinn, Crunchyroll, both seasons. Oh, maybe I just didn't see it. Or maybe I thought I clicked it and it was like, nothing's here. And I was like, Or maybe it was like the movie or something that I actually like seen. I've seen like the quintessential quintuplets. And I was like, that is a name that I will never forget. Because golly. Or like a tongue twister. So many cues. But yes. Oh, I'm not sure. To me, I think what it would be, I think it wouldn't be, because they did a really good job about showing everyone's like god tier power. Like even what's his name, like his brother has the potential to be a damn monster. Like, you know, he has potentially, I don't know. They didn't really, because he only had the power of a giant condensed essentially. So maybe he just had, maybe he's just a healer then. Maybe that's the case. Never mind. But yeah, also, dude, the mom is so cool. Also, it's so cool seeing, what's his name? The Shadow Man, Gigak or something. What? I don't know his name. Regardless, but the person having such a goddamn, like a utility factor that he steals everything and he has like a proclivity to take, so that when they need supplies, he's like, so by the way, I took some shit. It's not important. We'll use it to help. Also, the fucking mom dude is a fucking badass. Like, she shows up. She goes into the lion's pit, you know what I mean? Like, that's respect, you know? Not like this is not like your normal queen. She puts her money where her mouth is, you know? So that's also cool to see. Like, just a storytelling thing. Again, kind of a subvert expectation of what the queen is, you know? Kind of like a, fuck it, I'm out. I'm just an object to be passed around as fucked up kind of insurance and shit, or dark as hell fantasy kind of subjugation, etc. But no, she's like, no. don't you think I'm a baby here? I'm gonna kill you. I was like, okay, shit. BC says, dude, imagine if Boji really got the strength of his father. That would be, well, that'd be insane, right? Because that's the thing that, like, because he's basically, you'd have like the precision and speed of a demon essentially, and then with the strength of two giants combined and shit. Like, what? I think if they did do that, I think they would have to have it like in a burst, and I would think they would have to make it so that like it's kind of like the My Hero Academia thing, where it's like you cannot handle the strength with your puny mortal body, and if you can only handle it for like 2 seconds, and yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, me and Beastie are gonna hopefully, as Beastie doesn't enable me. But I wanted to talk to Beastie about the ending specifically about the show. I won't talk about what exactly happens. Besides, well, I might talk about one of the things that happens. So this is a slight spoiler, so we are gonna wind down with the stream. I don't know if we'll rate anybody today. Maybe if you guys have someone who is here, I just feel like me and Beastie are gonna be talking specifically about stuff. I feel like people are gonna leave, and then we're gonna raid someone with Beastie. And I'm feeling like that's a lot of pressure to put on Beastie. I don't want to do that to him. Also, we have to prevent the statue from getting killed. But this is commencing now. We are now going to be talking about the literal ending of the show, and not doing weird MacGyver nonsense to try to make it seem less spoilery, even though we're pretty close to the wire here anyway. So yes, now is your thing to run away, people who want to watch the show. I don't think knowing the ending makes it less fucking rad in any way, really. Especially the way it sequences and happens is very... a little bit like, ooh, okay, we're okay. Ooh, okay, we're okay. Kind of thing. So, yeah, it works out, basically. Also, I really hope we fought... Wouldn't it be cool if we fought this boss at the end of it, instead of some random asshole? But yes. Han says, I have some awesome primordial ability rings for you when you're tired of farming for once. Oh, Hans, I would love them. If you have any, I would be very happy to accept them. Are we friended on the game? Because I think I need to go over here and hit the text button. So if I'm not friended with you, I think over here. Let's see. Social do it. Hans, is your name here? I don't see a Hans here, so you might need to send me a friend request right there. But yes. Also, if you don't care about spoilers of the show because you're not necessarily into these kinds of things, I totally get it too. Although I think you would be into it. Losega says, Grinn, if you watch quintessential quintuplets, you're gonna have to tell me what you think about who's best girl. Okay, absolutely, 100%, buddy. You know me, I'll have one for sure. There's a sister thing in there somewhere, so I really hope I don't accidentally. We have a personality base, all right. BC says, yeah, the power was condensed into a form of human as it was becoming invincible, which was friggin' awesome. Yeah. BC says, at first, I was super annoyed that she would pop up in the front lines. Like, what the fuck? That's like waving thousands of dollars in front of a thief. Yeah. Han said that. My name is Shadow Fox and Shift. Okay, perfect. Let me see. Maybe I can't invite you when we're here. Let's see. Oh, I see. Perfect. Okay, we'll quickly spend. Honestly, I don't even know if you have good stuff for me. I feel like we should just go grab it. But yes, we got a book, not a thing. Quickly burn all this stuff. I don't want to waste your time, Shadow. It says, but I'm hyped for the summer anime season. Seems really good. Yeah, man. It looking like there's not too many Xbox games outside of for next year. Yeah, which hopefully that changes. But yeah. I was watching a video of a recap of PlayStation, and they were like, yeah, actually, next year doesn't have a lot of things slotted for next year kind of stuff. But for anime, hopefully it comes out swinging. Let's get says, lay it on me, Grinn and Beastie. Tell me about the ending. I'll listen. The thing is, Grinn, I have a feeling which quintuplet you like the most. Okay, I'm not sure if I'll watch it next. I probably watch that after. Okay, well, actually, I have like 3 shows I kind of want to watch. I want to watch God of High School. I want to watch the one where it's like a show about a guy who got reincarnated, but he kind of like he basically just dedicates his whole life to like raising slimes or something. It's like a perfect world or an amazing, wonderful world or something. That's something I just want to check off the list because I've been seeing it forever, and I've just been like, let's finish this. Okay, but then I will watch that one probably. So I got a couple in the way, and I also may want to break after God of High School, where I'm like, all right, fuck it, let's watch something like soft and not crazy. But Beastie, okay, we're time with spoilers. And then I hope Han's gonna help me out big time. But ladies and gentlemen, Ranker of Kings, Beastie, dude, I loved the way it ended, because it basically it wrapped up everything. It made something so satisfying. We just see Boji fucking be king. He gets to be king like twice. He gets like relinquishes the throne, gets it back, and then gives it away again. But it's the craziness, BC, that not only does he become the fucking dog, he becomes the king, but then he also, like, to me, it was in the back of my head, I'm like, this is awesome. Like, they did the thing. They didn't like tease it out for season 2. You know, Boji, will he get the kingdom, or is he gonna share it? Which sharing would have also made sense. Ooh, that's not chaotic. But to me, man, it took it up to like an 11. It fucking cranked the knob hard when just the idea of like the game, it ends with Boji and the Shadow Man basically being like, no, Boji is gonna go make his own kingdom, which was such a fucking power move, dude. Where instead of him being like, yes, I'll inherit the kingdom in which all of the subjects were fucking assholes to me, and you're like, fuck these people, you know, you owe them nothing. And then for Boji to be like, no, my brother can have it. My brother can have these ones. I'm going to go out in the world and all that stuff. And also, Beastie, there's so many like fun things that they've seeded out in the thing. Like that there's clearly race discrimination in this world. There's clearly like gods that are enslaving races and stuff like that. So, dude, a perfect world for, ooh, that's actually chaotic at least. I'd pick that one up. But in a perfect world, dude, season 2 would be Boji and Shadow Man running and exploring and like meeting different tribes of like elves, maybe pixies, maybe goblins and shit. Just meeting all these kinds of people, like little tiny like enclaves of tribes, and maybe like goes to each tribe and gets one person, and then finally something like terrible happens where he realizes, okay, it's time to stop exploring. I need to build my kingdom because these people need to be safe. Whether that's like a tyrannical god starting to kind of control people again. So he's like, no, I'm gonna make a kingdom where I can keep all these people safe. And then for him to take all of these cool tribes and like bring them together, dude, and make this, and also hopefully he finds like a mage that can like make crazy structures and shit. Also, because Boji is like the definition of like hope, hopefully he enables the amazing. Also, he looks at everybody like an equal. So hopefully he's like the idea of King Arthur of like taking everyone's speciality and like uniqueness. And like skill, like if a person's a good blacksmith, if a person's a good this or that, instead of looking at people through the eyes of like ego and all this weird stuff, instead if you looked at the like, no, you can provide, you're incredible, like you have an amazing talent and I want to cultivate that and I want to foster that. That would be so sick, you know, like I would love if that was season 2 of him going to tribe, you know, like either getting like a member of the party essentially, and then going on adventures and then finally having a moment where it's like, no, time to build this goddamn kingdom, you know what I mean? Also, it'd be even cooler if he kept like, if that was the idea of him like branching out and then bringing these people back to an area and then going out again and then bringing more people back, and then every single time he comes back with a new like people or tribe, it just gets fucking exponentially bigger and more technologically badass. I would fucking love it, dude. I hope that so badly that's what happens in season 2 because it's so sick. Also, again, throughout season 2, we're probably going to get like hints and teases from Miranjo, like her reconciling with stuff. Didus is actually going to become like, you know, a guy, what do you call it, like a king, and probably try to reconcile with Boji and all these things. And it'll be cool to see that like him, like he's like, no, also you look so cool, look like a fucking Joker. What's good, Shadow or Hans? What is this? Primordial double thing with the backstage. Oh, god damn it. God damn, look at this. Where's the ring? There's one ring. Who? God damn, look at these rings. Oh, we got boss damage too with gun damage. I see you. Gun damage. Ability damage. Ooh, we got 2 and duplicates. Golly. I feel like I should grab all of the rings because they're just kind of a nightmare hell to grab. Like we've been farming them for multiple streams and we've gotten fucking nothing. Like what a nightmare. What an absolute hell. You've got so many rings, Hans. This is like madness. In the best kind of way. Oh, we still got necklaces. Alright. Guns, more guns. Action skill and critical hit stuff. Pistol and action skill, critical hit stuff. Golly. What is this? Primordial to boot. Holy shit. Oh, I got heartburn in my chest. Huh. We got this too. I don't think I've ever gotten that one. Torg sticky. Ooh, primordial 2 and cryo. Love it. Also, we got liquid cooling. Is that the pack a punch, or has it gotten wrecked so badly? Gun damage stuff. I feel like I want to take all of it, but I'm kind of like worried that I wouldn't have enough space to hold it. But fuck it, we'll grab as much. Yeah, see, there we go. We peaked. Thank you, Hans. Mwah! Beautiful. Thank you. Appreciate you, man. That's amazing. That made it significantly less shit for me to farm, man. I was prepared to like dumpster dive essentially into like 50 save files all over the internet just to eventually find something that works. But thanks so much, Hans. BC says exactly. Fucking yes, that would be. I would hope so, man. Are all the mangas gone though? We found that the Queen and Didus were super talented with healing, but we didn't see much actual magic in the present day aside from Dan's Pan's lightning. Well, remember, man, magic is the thing of the gods. Which is interesting because remember there was the whole story with Miranjo is that she comes from she's the kind of mage person, right? So she comes from like this group of people that like just decoded the language of the gods and was able to harness magic. But then they got wiped out because they started rebelling against the gods because they were tyrants essentially and monsters, and they were enslaving a bunch of races. So they resisted the gods and they all got wiped out. But Miranjo is the last one there. So I wonder if there's like seedings of like, that's why I say tribes. Like you can't go to like a distant country and like conquer it. That's not Boji. But Boji could maybe see a bunch of these tribes doing their best, and then slowly there being another kingdom that starts to like devour them, and then Boji's like, fuck off my people, and then boom, shit be popping off. Although maybe I feel like the first act of season 1, if they ever do it like this again, would be like it's chipping away at stuff like Boji and I think of the shadow guy's name and then I lose it immediately. Kage, there we go, Kage. Him and Kage are gonna probably just start adventuring and having fun, and then I hope that they eventually find people on their journey, because you got to think that the swordsman guy and the archer guy are gonna basically come with Boji on this adventure. It'd be shocking if they didn't. You know, granted, I don't know. Again, I think we're gonna the first couple episodes, if they do it like this, or the first couple manga chapters of going into season 2 or whatever it could be, are gonna probably be like heartwarming explorations of like adventures that they go on. And I think slowly but surely they're gonna help you, like they're gonna make you fall in love with the archer guy, which we already kind of love to bits because he's just so wholesome and nice. And then the swordsman guy I think is gonna be kind of redeemed through the fact that we're now seeing him interact with Boji consistently. Especially in an intimate setting of like setting up a camp and stuff like that, you know? That's my thought. Lucy says, also, I have no one to suggest. I know everybody takes Sundays off, which I like in terms of YouTube uploads, in terms of stream uploads, like it's brutal. And to me, I hate that I don't have a video to upload to YouTube right now because I'm like, I'm part of the problem. I left you guys hanging when everybody else seemed to as well. I still streamed, but yeah. Hans says, awesome, glad I could help you for a chat. No, Hans, you are always nothing but a lovely person to be around. Also, you are incredibly helpful when it comes to all kinds of builds, even just like theory crafting with me on occasion and such. Far too kind than I deserve. Thank you, my friend. It says, oh, remember that. BC says, I want to see so much more of the world in season 2. Right, dude? Right? Oh, man. It's funny because BC, the style of this show is a little like odd. Like it's kind of soft in moments, it's not very detailed at other moments. It's also, there's like, again, BC, that this is why I say it's kind of like a masterpiece, is there's so many moments. So like, we're in spoiler land, the fucking mom has like this pointy nose and it's kind of really odd. It like throws you off a good bit at the beginning where like, what is this? Some sort of genetic trait, I guess. But you're watching and you're like, fuck this horrible mother, I hate her so much. And then at the end, dude, you're like, nah, that's just like, because they make you like this character, that like thing that you're like, fuck this person and her stupid ass horrible evil face or something, it becomes into like, no, she's cute, she's our like little, it's just a beloved trait, you know what I mean? Like you connect with that character and like, you know what, it's fine. It's actually pretty cute. It's fine. It changes the tact of it. You know, it almost makes this weird thing seem like, no, this is a unique trait that defines you in a positive way. The nose of evil, yeah. Like the evil witch nose, yeah. What if that was what it was? She's a descendant from one of those people and they had a hella schnoz, you know what I'm saying? Jeez. I want to see so much of what would be in season 2 for the world. Boji's first adventure with the sword master guy. We saw so many giant beasts that he didn't even try to fight. And underneath the castle, there were dragons, and all types of creatures. Imagine seeing all of those creatures in your homeland. That would be insane, dude. Oh, it'd be so cool. Also, dude, that was the other thing, Beastie. When I was watching the show and I started seeing the oh my god, when he finally like he bested the ogre and he fucking just like drops him, and again it's the moment where like his mom sees him finally fucking pop off, and it's like, ooh, she's like, my boy, and it's like, yeah, baby. Anyways, but when the fucking ogre like bows to this tiny king, this like foot tall little man. And it's like, I will fight for you and protect you. And then the fact that he's got Kage as like a surrogate general, and also they like, oh, Beastie, do you remember that? Dude, I was so excited when I started hearing about that shit. When like Kage's like, well, I guess we have to support him because we're like his generals or like his underlings or something. And they're kind of like, okay, well, I'll be the general leader and he'll be one of your like soldier guys, but we'll all be friends, but we'll do it like this. And it's just like bit by bit, they kind of teased out the idea of like Boji basically like aggregating power from other races or monsters. And it's like, holy shit, you have this tiny little man with a little sword just haul ass and fast as shit. And then he's accompanied by a fucking ogre, a shadow, and hopefully more in the future, you know what I mean? So I was super jazzed. I hope that's what's in season 2 with the adventuring arc, whatever they're queuing up to do that. Because both queuing up like him building a kingdom as well as him having this like going out and finding friends, which I hope is like, yes, friends, but also like powerful individuals that are like, this is the kid we follow because he's a god. He's stronger than God. Okay, you know. BZ says, yeah, exactly, but there's gonna be more people who've cracked that code, right? And it seems like other countries knew of the power they had, even if they thought negatively of them. So it would make sense if others managed to find out how to harness magic, even if only a few. Yeah, that makes sense. I think, yeah, because it seemed like even the thing that Kage was from, it didn't seem like he had a lot of. It seemed like magic is always sparse, which is kind of nice. I don't like that. Yeah, like there was a scene where like his dad was like conjuring a bunch of shit all the time, and I was like, okay, golly, you know. He says, yeah, he's like, I'm not royalty, so you can be my friend, and that's so friggin' old. Yeah, I know. I was also hoping that he would be like, because the one thing that I kind of had like a weird, it's my only like weirdness when it comes to Boji, is at the very end, when he finally like Miranjo is basically like, you have to kill me, like kings have to do horrible things and you have to kill me. And the whole like underlying sentiment of the show is like the Boji seemingly is like the beacon of like fate. Like he'll find a way, he'll struggle through it, but he'll succeed. And the fact that at the end when like he's like, yes, I will kill Miranjo, like so he cracks the seal, and he sets both of them free essentially in doing that. And then both the souls are like training off, and then the demon comes to collect essentially, and then Boji kind of seems like, oh, and I'm like, ooh, that's not the ending that I was hoping for. I was hoping for Boji being like, I'm gonna set you free, and I'm gonna go kill that demon fuck, okay? Didn't happen. It didn't happen, unfortunately. Unlucky. I don't even know if he could, because I think the demon fuck is just basically not, yeah, he's like ethereal. Anyways. But that's when I think that like it reached like this again. It's like we can't have Boji just be like an unkillable god all the time. So I think that's where like his brother came in and said, "Hey, I've been actually suffering in like a nightmare hell for months or weeks, maybe, depending on how long it's been, maybe probably months." And then he's like, "Hey, and then he yoinks the thing from him to save Miranjo. Otherwise, she'd basically be in like an unending torment, right? Because that's the kind of the thing. And I guess Boji is a part of it. Maybe that was always Boji's plan, because he does like go with Didus to like through the demon, and like pulls her out almost, you know. So maybe that's something where like, no, this is actually always my plan. Was that, especially considering, yeah, actually, because he received the memories of Miranjo, so. He probably knew about the demon, he probably knew about all that stuff, and he probably made that plan with that in mind, maybe. And that's why maybe he was actually trying to get him to kill him, because he would have known with a price in order to get a wish, which is to kill the demon guy. So maybe that's what. Okay, maybe that makes more sense now. Okay, so it's like he did have a plan. It was just he couldn't actually take down the big guy by himself because his archer guy was fucking flying and shit. And yeah, okay, that makes sense. The Boji's still overpowered, but I was thinking that was one of the moments where Boji like did something that to me seemed like it went against what he wanted to then like flail like, oh fuck, what am I doing? You know? I thought Boji was going to jump up and try to paralyze him or something, and he's clearly not invincible since they chop his head off. Yeah. Well, then, but I think I think maybe that's the goal, and then I don't think they make that explicit in the show, probably because they don't have time, but like the idea that I think you have to kill it in order to get a wish. Although I don't know if his dad did that, but I don't know if his dad needed to. I think his dad was like, no, I'll die to this guy, you know? BC says, but it didn't die, so maybe it's strange as hell, but died as was gonna happen with him. Did that wish not have consequences? That's what I was thinking of in the end. Maybe that's the catch, Beastie. Maybe that's the weird thing that the scholar guy knew. Maybe he knew that if you ask for the demon for a wish, he asks for something in return. But if you kill the demon, then you get a wish just because you bested a demon. Maybe that's the thing. Because you're right, that's a little odd. The fact that he didn't ask that. Maybe there's still a little bit of love and benevolence in his heart for the fact that he did that. Also, it's not like he didn't. Well, weird. No, I guess he never made a contract to get. Yeah, no, he never made. He made a contract to get to sacrifice your son's power, not to get boss's soul. So I guess that makes sense. But ladies and gentlemen, that was one of the best streams. Selfishly, that was a very good selfish stream for me. I didn't really do a good job about being a streamer, but I did a good job about having a fun time talking about the thing I was very into in the last couple months. Thank you for indulging me, Beastie, and everybody else who indulged me. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, basically watch Ranker of Kings. I'm sure I bombarded you this month with a Ranker of Kings a breakdown video, as well as the You Should Watch series, as well as maybe if I can get my priorities straight, I can make a better video of both of those kind of things, harmonizing in a way. But yes, well, ladies and gentlemen, that was a very, very fun time. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your day. I'm off to go cut my hair, end the night, and unfortunately, there's no video tonight. But I will hopefully have a video up for you guys tomorrow. I just have to render it, and it should be good. A little bit longer video, so patient with me for that. There might be even more of this, because I think I'll probably upload a weird book review kind of thing. But yes, that would be interesting. I wonder how they plan on saving the demon too. I'm so happy. Yeah, man. Again, that's the thing that's crazy of Beastie. If you think about the Ranker of Kings, we have the plot thread. We have Miranjo having to save the demon kid. We have whatever the hell the Ranker of Kings like thing is. I have a feeling it might have to do with the gods. Like, also, what's with the gods that like retired, like the evil gods that retired? What's with the sword guy stuck in the pool, stuck in the thing? What happened to the underworld guy in regards to the rankings, and what's that look like? What's Boji in the rankings? What's Boji's adventures gonna be? How the hell is Boji gonna create a kingdom? Like it simultaneously ended all of the threads and made you feel like, while simultaneously being like, I can't wait to jump into the next adventure. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, I'm hitting the ground running as soon as I can. But it's also like, I'm sitting back in a chair right now where I'm like, I'm content. But as soon as I hear that siren's call, baby, I'm gone. I'm haul-assing to watch that shit immediately. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Hope you guys do enjoy the rest of your day. We are just going to simmer it down. We're not going to rate anybody. Actually, give me a sec. Is Luca streaming? I'm crazy. I think, yeah, of course not. He just rated out. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Hope you guys do enjoy the rest of your day. You've been nothing shy of lovely. Hopefully, I can see you again on Tuesday, where we'll be picking up from our weirdo dating sim Eldritch horror show thing. So hopefully I can see you then. Thank you kindly for your time, and bye, my friends.